Hey, all right. So, question for this week. The current plan is that you're en route to the city of Zan. What do you expect to find there if you're allowed inside?
Mushrooms.
The smell of decay. I imagine it's not going to, in character, Fergus would imagine that it's not going to be like an actual city that we're used to seeing. It's probably not going to look like just mundane buildings and mud huts or anything like that we're expecting. It's going to be a little bit alien in terms of construction.
The perplexing notion that mushroom people live in mushroom houses. So are houses made of people, or are people made of houses?
Why does that Pop-Tart live in a toaster? That'd be like a living hell.
Exactly.
Sorry, I thought of that with the Rick and Morty thing.
That's exactly it.
Do you want to get any more in depth than just mushrooms there, Taskill?
Probably. Well, what we've seen of our friend here, given that he's an outlier, a fairly conservative civilization that keeps to itself, since he supposedly is one of the few that wants to actually explore shit. Even just their own jungle.
And that just leaves Thrum currently.
I missed it. I'm sorry. I was AFK.
Okay. The current plan is that you're all on your way to the city of Zan. What do you expect to find there, if you're allowed inside?
Well, I'm curious to see if they've ever heard music or have any kind of music. Because we know how they communicate. And also, do they have any alcohol? Because it's been a long time that we've been under here with no beer.
Doubtful.
You mean you haven't been fermenting mushrooms?
I am legally obligated to inform you that the Stein of Father Mountain does produce alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, I sprained my wrist. Can I get some more of that good shit?
It is healing alcohol, but on the other hand, can it produce regular alcohol on command?
It technically does both at the same time. So, the healing alcohol is the alcohol it produces.
Yeah, so it's 1 mug a day. We're all just gathered around like, I need that hit.
Fergus is fine.
Well, technically it's got 3 charges, so it could produce 3 mugs a day.
Yeah, but he said it recharges one per day, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true. So the first day you can get 3.
I'll wait for the wine. I'm sure we'll find some when we raid the Drow Fortress.
Alright. So, does anyone need a recap?
I did my little type up thing, but I think it's largely we went to talk to the spider people, and in order to get them to work with us to get into the Drow Fortress or anything about it, we needed to broker some kind of peace between them and the Zan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all I remember because it was a rough time, and I listened to it, but I might have missed some finer details.
And then we ended last session with you all getting ambushed by some drow.
Oh yeah, because Thrum's girlfriend threw a wet chainmail at him.
Yep.
And then fled.
It was especially great too because I rolled randomly to see who it would target, and it was Thrum. Just like
this relationship is not going to work.
Well, you don't know what it was wet with.
It's gonna work great. Listen, we don't even live stream, and there's always fan art of the ship, so. And trust me, those fan artists are horny.
Yeah, anytime there's any kind of fandom of anything online, you know that there's a bunch of horny fucks doing something with it.
Yeah. All right. So, I'll put on the music. We'll pick up right where the battle ended. All the drow are dead except for one because he accidentally tranked himself, and Nolgrim is also unconscious due to being tranquilized.
Preemptively taking a long rest.
I am going to first tie up the unconscious guy, and then proceed to search the bodies.
Okay.
You tying up Nolgrim or the other guy?
I mean, it could be both, but no.
Roll 1d2.
No. We're dwarves. We don't think we all look alike, okay?
You tied up Nolgrim by mistake.
He was looking a little elfy at the moment.
You take that back.
Sleeping there like a wee babe.
Let's see. Let me pull up the drow sheets to see what they have for you. Yeah, it looks like the drow have assortments of short swords, hand crossbows, chain shirts. 2 of them have light crossbows. Yeah, that's mostly what they have. Let me do a quick roll.
And then if there's anything in particular on the guy that seemed to be in charge that might any letters or any kind of information.
Between all of them, you do find 16 gold coins of drow mint.
Okay, I'll just throw that into the group or something.
Mm-hmm. There is no note on the agent guy that was sneak attacking around.
And you said there was a hand crossbow on a couple of them, or most of them?
Yeah. Most of them have hand crossbows. Pretty standard drow weaponry.
Yeah. If anyone out of character wants to take any of this, I don't plan on really taking much of it.
I'll stick an extra light crossbow in the bag of holding.
Yeah, I was gonna take a hand crossbow.
Oh, bolts. Do they have?
Yeah.
Right.
Let me count up real quick, see how many there would be.
I didn't catch if the chainmail was made out of anything special.
1 second. 35 bolts between all of them. It looks like this is just ordinary chainmail.
Still got a plan for that steel.
Yeah,
You
if
wanna
you're
stick
taking
it in the cart.
I think each
Yeah, go ahead and stick it in the cart.
probably 1 bulk each. Or sorry,
Yeah.
did I say chain shirt or chainmail?
You said chainmail, but
Oh, sorry, it's chain shirt. That's my mistake.
okay. We've
So
already got.
there's
How many shirts?
7. Oh, sorry, 6. Sorry, the agent was not wearing a chain shirt.
Kenneth, you want those? I'll put them in the wagon.
Yeah, put them in the wagon.
1 each.
We're still on the world map if you want to move us over.
Oh,
to the
right.
river.
Sorry. I forget that like every week.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a hand crossbow. Just keep 10 bolts on me in case something happens to my short bow.
And did you say 35 bolts?
35 bolts, yes.
And I'll put the rest in the wagon.
Oh yeah, something that we forgot from the recap. Nolgrim's now wanted for stealing sheets.
That is correct. You did steal sheets when you were explicitly told not to.
In a language he couldn't understand, but that doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to that playing out, in all honesty.
Oh,
Great.
shit.
Because you're like, wait, they weren't gifts?
I am so looking forward to that scene.
You're the person that goes to a hotel and then puts the pillows in your bag.
I mean, that's what my mom in a nutshell. She has a She pretty much has a whole towel set from taking them from this one hotel she goes to.
Jeez.
Like when she goes down to visit friends, and she just has, I think, like 8 of the towels now that all match, and they all came from that one hotel.
It's like a story I heard about from a stand-up comedian about he had a friend that when he was in high school, every time he went to someone's house party, he would steal their family photos because, quote, it's the only thing they can't replace.
Yeah, I know that comedian. I can't remember his name right now.
John Mulaney, yeah.
Yep.
The wanted cruelty to do that to some people. Anywho, yeah, that's the loot that you find on them. Oh, also, probably, let's say, 21 drow rations.
Nice.
Plus whatever we can cut up from the
Drow.
big cats they brought.
Oh, yeah, those two.
If you want to eat the leopard.
Oh yeah, we could definitely
leopard's
steam those
leopard.
leopards.
Also, they'll make some nice throw rugs.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a survival roll to skin and meat them. There's not a lot of meat on a leopard, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to do it? I can do it if someone wants to help, or I can help
Got the
somebody.
+4 on it. I think.
I have a plus
still
3.
the highest.
Yeah, just assist him.
Okay, so I'll give you advantage on.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me count up again how many leopards there were. Give you the proper number here.
Getting to the basics of trading. We have pelts.
Yeah, so you get, I'll say, 3 rations worth of leopard meat and 3 leopard pelts.
Yeah.
The pelts will be 1 bulk each.
You can get some nice, fancy ass sleeping bags.
Checking for fleas first.
Oh man, I would hate to imagine what an Underdark flea is like.
Oh, I thought they were asking to check Thrum for fleas.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, he does spend all the time with the yak.
Can't get a good one under 100 these days.
Would that qualify as a fungus or a parasite?
Probably after skinning the animals and searching and everything, you're sneaking up on close to an hour has passed.
What happened? Hello?
Shh, nobody say a word. We're just off searching the bodies in the distance.
Ivy's there. Maybe if we all pretend like we can't see him, he'll think he's a ghost.
I can hear you.
No, you can't.
What happened?
You fell asleep. You must
Out
be
of
really
character,
tired.
I don't remember.
He was hit in the neck by a drow crossbow bolt, and it had poison on it that he failed the Constitution save so badly he just passed out.
Oh yeah, did we find any of that poison?
Drow poison.
No, doesn't look like it.
Alright. Gombo learned his lesson after last time.
No, they just only had 1 dose each. They've been tracking through the jungle for a while, tracking someone. They were running low on supplies.
Make sure to use it on the largest threat.
Eski's right over there.
Imagine though, just friggin' 7 drow. Quick, everyone, shoot the cow!
Well, I mean, they were so intimidated by him that they didn't dare touch him in the middle of combat. And he, to his credit, he just stood there,
Just staring at them
not
through
even
his hair.
wincing, not even flinching from the combat.
Eski is an elder god. Moving on.
That is canon.
Yak.
You'll just leave Eski by the edge of the lake someday, and you'll come back, and there'll be a dead kraken, and it's just munching on a mushroom nearby.
Oh, that's something I would love to see fan art on.
All right, so probably your drow captive is beginning to stir as well.
Oh, he got another one.
Just gonna go up to him and be like, "Hey there, friend. Rough day, isn't it?"
And he kind of mumbles something in Elvish to the effect of, "Did I shoot myself?" As he did.
Yeah. Technically, someone threw a person at you, and then you accidentally shot yourself. Yes.
Oh.
Out of character, do we have any questions we actually want to ask him?
Yeah, let's run by the information we got from the other lady and see if he verifies it all.
Though I do have a question for Gombo. Does that being unconscious count as a short rest?
No, it does not.
It's like drunk sleep. It's no good.
You were drugged, my friend. You weren't sleeping and recuperating your spells.
Some of the best sleeps are drunken sleeps.
Not drunken, drugged. There's a difference. I've come up from out of underneath anesthetic before. I didn't feel overly rested.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like before he had woken up, can we retroactively say we talked a little bit about what we were going to question him?
Sure, absolutely.
I feel like we shouldn't bring up, in case we have to use him for anything else. I don't think we should right away bring up anything about the actual fortress itself. Just start questioning about the forces they have in the fungal jungle, and why are they looking for what's her name so bad?
Okay. You're the boss.
Also, how many other parties are about?
Yeah. So that was what I would start with, Gombo, is why are they looking for, can't remember her name off the top of my head right now.
Hestia.
Why are they looking for Hestia so much, and why do they want her so bad? Are there any other parties out and about searching for her, or were they the only ones? And then how many do they have in their general forces in the fungal jungle and surrounding area?
He's speaking exclusively in Elvish, but you understand it.
Yeah, I'm speaking it back to Elvish, so.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking it exactly like a drow would, because I've spoken to them for longer than a minute.
His eyes is clearing up from the poison, and he's addressing you straightly. And he says, "And why, in all the acid-soaked pits of the abyss, would I tell some piss-stinking groundling anything?"
Well, I mean, in exchange, I could let you live and let you figure out your own way out of here. I mean, that seems like a fair trade.
Roll me a persuasion there, Richard.
25.
25.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is
That's
good. Says, Baroness wants her cousin back for punishment for leaving her post. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you do let me go, the punishment that my Baroness will level upon will be far more painful than anything this jungle will conjure up.
Sounds like a challenge to me.
I say we leave him here. Leave him a ration after we're done with him, and then he can fend for himself. Who knows? Hestia might need a friend if he doesn't really want to go back so bad. But that's just my opinion. If anyone else has any questions for him, I would ask him. I would also push him about the if he knows how many are actually out looking for. If this was the only group.
Give me another persuasion disadvantage. This guy's really not inclined to talk. You were able to get as much out of Hestia last time just because she was a wheeler and dealer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to spoil the surprise, Beardling.
I'm curious. Are you looking forward to being hunted by Hestia?
What do you mean by that? Also, do you speak Elvish, by the way, there, Nolgrim?
Undercommon.
He's been speaking in Elvish.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He'll say to Fergis then. What's the stupid one mean about that?
I'll just act as a translator, so whatever Nolgrim says, assume I just repeat it.
Imagine Hestia won't take kindly to being hunted by you, so and she'll return the favor, especially now that you're the only survivor of your party.
Please. If that bitch was anywhere near here, she wouldn't have thrown us onto your scent. She's probably halfway across the jungle by now.
Either that or she just heard you say that. Who knows? Well, not spoil that mystery for you.
So, anyone else have any questions for him before I decide what I'm going to do with him?
Nope.
If you're gonna let him go, at least let's wait until after the night. We can let him go in the morning. I don't want him sneaking about while we're trying to sleep.
So, if we don't have any questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a piece of parchment and take a moment to write a letter to Hestia in case she comes by, and kind of like just put it in like a front pocket. It's like, in case you're found by our mutual friend here.
What's the letter say?
Amounts to say essentially you gave us a present, so we left you one of your own. I'm gonna kind of sit him against one of the fungal trees, and I'll just say, Thrum, give me a boost real quick.
All right.
And getting on his shoulders, I'm gonna put a short sword as high up as I can, and just tell the drow like, that's your escape if you want to try to work for it.
He glares at you with venom.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. And I leave one, like half a ration, essentially dangling on the short sword. Now you really need to work for it.
You have to get to it before the critters do.
Yep. But then I suggest we take our leave. He can fend for himself. Don't wish to kill the helpless, and despite them being a drow or not. I'm saying this in Elvish too, by the way, to really just drive that knee into his gut.
Yeah, he's clearly very not happy.
So shall we be off?
I figured we'd probably rest here since we're so beat up.
I wasn't sure if this is like the beginning of the day or not.
It's the beginning of the day.
Yeah. We can rest in shifts on the wagon and sleep at a normal hour and not sleep after we just slept.
Well, I could use a short rest at least to clean up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay. I can leave the wagon as we're traveling if you want to take a rest. I'm not going to be as good as you, but I can manage.
You guys could take a short rest, but taking a long rest will scuttle this entire day of travel. But you can take a short rest if you want.
Short rest will do me good.
Was I the only one beat up?
I have a little bit of damage, but I could have survived.
Nolgrim was down to about third hit points, so you could use the hit die roll.
I'll roll some hit die then if we're taking a short rest.
Yeah, might as well. 23
Up to 4. But yeah, Thrum took a thrashing in that last fight, didn't he?
Hey,
Yes,
he
so,
was,
yeah.
He was the tank. And what really got you guys was the opening pounce from those Panthers.
And I got up and just smacked one down. Let's see,
Alright.
so we got 8 of those.
While we're rolling for that stuff, I have to share this thing that my wife just posted into Discord. They're like, Sony, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Microsoft, Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, Xbox Chain of Memories, Xbox 358 2 days, Xbox Birth by Sleep, Xbox Recoded, Xbox 3D Dream Drop Distance, Xbox HD 1.5 Remix.
I can't believe no one else is concerned that the Xbox Series S is actually the Xbox SS. I heard about it though. Speaking of that, once Sony announced the PlayStation 5, they're like, "Oh, by the way, we also trademarked and reserved the websites for PlayStation 6 through 10." I'm like, well, at least they're keeping their naming convention consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need to make all these fancy names.
Yeah, I respect Sony immensely for just like, you know what it is.
I might actually not need more than one, because chain shirts are apparently 20 pounds of metal. Yeah, mostly metal.
Then that would be 2 bulk each then, because bulk is roughly 10 pounds.
Yep.
There's some rounding in there because bulk is also taking the space, the accommodation of it, but metal's heavy, yo. So
I know.
No problem. We got room.
yeah, the bag of holding helps immensely. All right, so you're all heading off, leaving your captive behind.
Have fun.
I made sure he didn't fiddle with anything until we left.
Which direction are you guys headed?
I wanted to spend a couple days at the north end of the pond, yes. The north end of the pond. Just a tiny thing.
I thought we
Setting
just
up
go
like
straight to
a
there.
meeting zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
You want to
really-
go down there to set something up? Okay.
Yeah. So I was going to, I guess now I only need like 1 or 2 of each, but I was going to use my power to turn the chain shirt into a, well, the first one I'm going to do is like a rough symbolic dwarf figure with like a space in the head for a candle to be put to light up the eyes and mouth. Then the next 2, I was going to use one for the Zan, kind of a mushroomy looking thing. Maybe little mushroom figures around the base. And then one for the Skizral, which would be like a spider with like a couple other spiders riding atop it. And then set them up in kind of a area on the coast there for the meeting.
Yeah. So to do that would take 3 days total, but definitely with the chain shirts and stuff that you have on hand, it's something you could absolutely do. There won't be any additional costs or issues at all.
Yeah, we might as well forage and stuff while he's doing that.
Nolgrim will practice his gem cutting.
Yeah.
Before you guys get to all that, though, when you're still headed to the coast, probably some of you do notice that Ivy is eating a ration.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh God, I got it.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, I don't get it.
Where'd she get the
I missed
ration?
something too.
Did we leave one behind?
Mm.
Roll,
Oh,
no,
good.
no. Roll, you can roll a insight or just an intelligence roll if you guys out of character didn't get it.
I was about to say, well, we're not the drow. It's like, who said you could eat? But, yeah, maybe she took it, maybe she didn't. Taskill doesn't particularly care.
Fergus, with that 22, that's 100% the half a ration you left for the drow.
Just a little like low fist bump.
Yep. What? It was just lying there.
I mean, it was a free for all. Anyone who got to it first.
Yep.
I like to think she managed to do it without him even seeing too. Just looked up, ration gone. What the fuck?
Gotta
You
watch
gotta
out
watch
for those
out.
fungal monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Fungal monkeys. That doesn't sound right.
I was going to say shroom squirrels, but yeah.
I like fungal monkeys.
I think it's swirls and fungal monkeys.
It is now canon. There are fungal monkeys around here somewhere, and we need to find them.
All right. So you're spending 3 days on the coast there. I'll just go ahead and add this to the tracker before I forget.
Do we have fishing supplies?
I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I think fishing tools is actually a tool. But I do not believe you do.
I'm just looking at our wagon, see if we have anything like nets or anything like that.
We've got a lot of rope. You could weave a net, but
I
it
also
wouldn't
have
be-
string.
Yeah, string would be better.
Yeah, good news is fishing tools are not a tool proficiency. That means anyone can do it, but I just want to make sure because I'm trying to be by the book. So, stuff there.
Let's see.
Well, given what we've seen in that lake, anything that couldn't be caught by string would probably pull you in anyway.
To be fair, we are also in the depths, mostly on the shoreline.
Yeah. We also have that folding boat. If we actually wanted to go out there, we had fishing supplies. But
Speaking
I don't
of
think we
ship-
do, so I'm not going to really worry about it too much because
Speaking
Yeah.
of, do we want to send somebody out while we're getting situated here to meet up with the gnomes and let them know our intent to have them meet?
it'll probably take all 3 days for us to get our little boat over to Vostenstad, won't it?
That's some good speed.
No,
Three.
it actually would not, because you are 2 days out from it. If you did it by foot, and boats are usually a little faster.
I think it would either take, 3 days or 4 days to do it at most.
Yeah. Yeah,
for
we'll
round,
have to
for a
have
round trip.
we'll have to get a good amount of people on there, though, because it's a rowing boat.
Yes, it is.
Better point.
Yeah, we have it can turn into a small boat that's 10 feet long, 4 feet wide, with 1 pair of oars. Or it can turn into a 24-foot long one that has 5 rows of oars.
All right, so a small, narrow rowboat, just a normal one-person rowboat, you go 8 miles an hour easily. 7 knots or 8 miles an hour.
Mhm.
So if it's 12 miles across that little stretch, I think you could probably make it in about 3 hours. I mean, if you've ever rowed a boat, you know how much faster they go.
Oh,
and
yeah,
our travel speed is taken into account pretty hefty terrain that we're trying to
I've
get.
been on a boat like 1 time.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with Cope on this one because I've actually used a rowboat before, and they're definitely a lot faster than walking.
Well, I mean, I'll come with if you want to go there, and they can give us a ride back on the Underblad if worse came to worse.
That's
So I
going.
guess that's
at
a no.
40 So that's going at 40 strokes per minute. If you go at a manageable, sustainable rate, you can go 4.5 miles per hour.
And it's about 30 miles away from us, I think. Well, 22, so 23.
Roughly there, yeah.
So about 4 hours to get there.
It's going to be very tiring. I might
Yeah.
have you do an athletics roll just to see if you get exhaustion, but other than that...
Well, that's why I was thinking that we would just make it the small boat and have like 2 or 3 of us, and we can alternate at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's only one set of oars when we do it that way.
Yeah, Taskill and I can stay behind and forage and build his metal thing.
Nolgrim.
And Freya, I imagine, will stay behind since
Nolgrim was
Michael's
going
not
to use
here.
his time to practice jewelry cutting.
Yeah, so we'll probably just skip that then, because I'm not going on there by myself.
Yeah, that's fine.
He would say that in case, like, I'm not going out in that body of water by myself. I've seen what's in there.
Freya speaks up. Well, I mean, if you really are intent on going, I'd go with you.
I'm good.
No.
Let's leave the 2 people that have no chance of getting out of any kind of like physical scrap together on a boat.
Well, I see why, right? Okay. Okay.
But no, in character, he doesn't want to go anyway. He was just offering to go because he didn't want to leave somebody going by themselves.
Going to get somebody else to go for him. I love it. Well, Thrum's gonna forage.
Yeah, I'm gonna forage too.
Spend most of my time looking for a good site.
Oh yeah. So for the foraging, here's what we're gonna do. Instead of doing a roll for each day and gunk up the chat with calculations, we're just gonna do 1 roll, and I'll just have the amount of food you get be bigger.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm here.
Hey, there he is.
So we're doing 1 roll.
Yeah, just 1 survival roll.
Okay.
I believe you can have Miku help you to get advantage, Richard, and I believe does Cope always have advantage? Or no, I was thinking of something else.
No, he just has a better roll, I think.
No,
I was
he
actually
just
gonna
gets
be-
more. He's supposed to get double what anybody else would get.
Right.
Yeah. Rather than just looking for food, I'm also just looking for anything interesting that I come across.
Okay, yeah.
Like I'm going around the coast a little bit, but I'm also scavenging at the same time. But
Mhm.
mostly I'm just looking for weird shit.
Okay, let me...
Those are some rolls.
Alright.
I thought we were just doing 1 roll for the 3 days.
Yep, you are correct.
I am, but he said if Miku's helping me, I get advantage.
No, I got you. Oh, I thought your insight was a survival.
So, Thrum was definitely successful. I'm just flipping through a part of the book here. There we go. Alright, so if I remember correctly, that would be... it's going to be a lot. So, keep in mind, the number I'm about to roll for Thrum is taking into account that it's over 3 days, because it's going to be rather large.
That's what she said.
24 pounds of mushrooms.
Nice.
Yeah, 6. More than 6 a day.
Yeah, roughly. Because normally it'd be like each successful one would be a 1d6 with Miku's advice, and then Thrum doubles that to 2d6.
And can Eski graze during these 3 days? Or
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
okay.
The foliage gets a little smaller near the coastline. Okay. Richard. Let's see here. You're looking for anything interesting. Roll me 2d20.
I rolled a 20. Technically.
Yeah. Yep. That you did. All right. You find 2 more of these rare-looking special mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is a strange frilled mushroom that produces a spore that is kind of like pasty.
Tasty or pasty?
Pasty.
Okay.
You're not like a super handy person, but you kind of figure that if you mixed it with mud, you might be able to make some kind of clay.
Okay.
And on another time, you find a mushroom that is blue, and it's got really like a furry cap. It's very fuzzy.
I mean, I'm looking for him. I'm going to pluck it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mimic.
Does it look like it does anything in particular, or can I like do any kind of knowledge of
Do me a knowledge nature.
it? 17.
You've actually seen this kind of thing in alchemist shops back in Corsiconia. You're pretty sure this is the type of mushroom that if you worked at it with a alchemist supplies, you could make a healing potion from this.
Okay, well, now I just have to learn how to do alchemy stuff. Someday.
That's what I keep telling myself when it comes to jewelry cutting.
Well, we're hopefully going to a place that has stuff I can get to at least get alchemy supplies so I can start learning. But
I mean, out of character, a place rule that's being led by a person whose only name is the Alchemist, it's a pretty good bet you might be able to find some alchemy there.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Just to catch up Michael on what's going on. They interrogated the drow that you captured last session, and then they have then traveled south to the top of the lake, where Taskill has been setting up like a neutral meeting ground for the Zan and the Skizral, using some forge magic, and everyone else has been foraging around.
Very cool. We're gonna broker a peace.
And Loki's been cutting gems.
Fergus did
the only problem with
slight
the
Freya.
jewelers thing. Yeah,
Yep.
the only problem with the jewelers thing is we don't have someone who's proficient, right?
Mhm.
Working on it.
He's trying to teach himself.
Yeah.
How many days have you clocked in?
Can't
on that
Freya
total?
just learn it
13 out of
immediately?
42.
Yep.
I can create the tools immediately. I'm not proficient in them though.
Loki will knock it out for us.
I could have it done here in a month if you want to sit down and do nothing for us 30 days.
Maybe if we
Hey.
were in a safer.
I will let you guys know that if you ever did decide to do like a time skip like that, we don't need to go day by day. We can just like week by week for 3 weeks and then done. So
If we ever want to go to that other gnome city that's supposed to be around a little bit ways away.
the very far away one.
Yeah. I thought there was a shortcut through the jungle to go that way, though.
Not that you've heard.
Well, the problem is I can't practice while traveling.
Well,
It's
after we
long since
conquer
been
the drow base and turn it into our own mini fortress, we can spend some time there while we're redecorating.
There you go.
Listen, I would just like to point out that I keep a nice game master hat in the fact that while I did go into the plan of requiring jewels cutters tools to make those ancient weapons work, jewel crafter tools were one of the free options that you could pick as a dwarf for all of you.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I just felt cartography was more fitting for
oh yeah,
Nolgrim, so.
no, absolutely. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no,
'cause
for
I'm
sure,
like,
for sure.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen.
And you let me have calligraphy supplies since I'm not technically from a dwarven
Mhm.
area, so
Oh
it
yeah,
makes sense for me.
it does.
I have that fancy writing, so what's it? Nolgrim can make the maps. I can give the flourishes to the names of every location he puts on there.
Mhm.
There you go. We'll work together on that one.
See, there has to be a dragon in the corner of the map here in this dead area because there always has to be a dragon on a map.
Obviously.
How do you know there's a sea serpent in the ocean?
How do you know there's not?
I love that joke so much. I forgot what that was from, but I love the joke
Remember,
so
I can't
much.
find it. I've tried to Google and find it. It was some little cartoon show.
I know, because it's such a great joke that they show up there and then there is a sea serpent, and the guy's like, I knew it! Anyway, Freya, what are you doing for 3 days?
For the 3 days,
Mhm.
gosh, I'm away from all my robots.
Oh yeah, you didn't bring your robots along.
Oh yeah,
huh?
you left them back on the Hammerswald, didn't you?
Yep.
We have a boat if you want to go by.
Yeah.
We were joking about how most of us are terrified to go, or at least I'm terrified to go on the boat alone.
Yeah, it would only take about 4 or 5 hours to row over there.
Only 4 or 5 hours in the open water with these creatures that live in here.
Yeah.
I think you'd be fine. Just make it the bigger boat and sail.
With what wind?
I don't know. What do we need? What would be the most useful? Do I need to, I guess, forage for food?
I mean, forage is always useful. I just started looking for weird shit, and I found a couple of mushrooms. So
Yeah, forage is good. We will need
Alright.
to hunt a boar within the next 8 days, or we will be out of boar meat.
We got. I think I forgot how much leopard meat did we get?
3 rations.
Okay, so not a ton.
Yeah, so if we
Yeah,
want to
so-
forage for 3 days and then take a 4th day to hunt a boar, that would be good.
well, we're not guaranteed to find a boar, but we can hunt for animals.
Yeah, hunt for something. Because with those,
So
I'm throwing the 20 rations from the drow in there, and with that, we can make it almost exactly 8 days.
Anyway, you're saying, Michael.
I'm gonna forage for the 3 days.
Okay, so to make it easy, I just said just do 1 survival roll, and then I'll just increase the amount of food you get if you succeed. Sorry, we don't have to just keep spilling the chat with. Well,
What the
You,
fuck was that, cat? Jesus Christ! Sorry, my cat just spazzed out and jumped around the bed.
Detected the one. Knows what Gombo's about to throw.
Look, it's revenge for that game where Richard kept rolling ones.
Every game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't really find anything that you recognize as any of the edible mushrooms on a natural one. You know what? Let's just do a roll me a 1d2.
Psilocybin.
And Freya goes missing.
And Prey is never heard from again. She meets the Richard's drug druid.
You find a big rock of asbestos. No, this isn't California. For those of you who don't know the joke, asbestos is the California state rock, and that is not a joke.
Oh,
Is it
God.
really?
Yes.
That's funny.
Get that popcorn lung.
You know, it's weird. Everything I buy, it's like there's a footnote at the bottom that you can't have this in California because of some rule.
Yeah.
Or because if it's a carcinogen. I've seen that on interesting labels. Like,
Fucking French fries are considered a carcinogen.
I got a drafter's tool that was basically just a strip of like flexi plastic covered something that you use to, draw trace consistent curves. On the label there is considered a carcinogen in California.
Yeah, I bought a knife that had it on there, and I bought a fishing lure that had it on there the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck? Can you just not have anything in California?
Cancer.
Why not? They don't want it spreading."
If you didn't see in the chat there, Michael, could you roll me a Constitution saving throw? Okay, so the bad news is that you find what you think is some edible mushrooms, but when you pluck them, they disintegrate and turn into a cloud of violet spores that you accidentally inhale. The good news is, that actually should have been an advantage, but the good news is that you pass the saving throw, so you're not poisoned from it.
Yeah, you didn't kill yourself.
Or possessed by mushroom.
Freya, I think
What a
you ought to sit
beautiful
down for a little
smell.
while.
On your way to becoming a Zan.
I mean, have you guys seen the zombie fungus? Real life?
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. That would have been fun.
Year's not over yet.
$2020. Anyway, so that's the 3 days. I believe that's what everyone did.
Sounds about right.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. So you guys going to do anything else in this area, or are you going to move on day 129?
Over these 3 days, did we see any tracks or anything that would make us think this would be a good area to try and hunt some animals?
Roll me a survival.
Take a 4th day and reap.
I could just say this survival is just to see.
If I've
while you're
noticed
doing
any
the hunt.
tracks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Gotcha.
musty balls over this one. Nope, you've seen nothing.
All right. We'll need to move along and keep our eyes open to see if we see any more tracks and can set up a good hunting spot. And I actually think while we're traveling,
Mhm.
I can. Yeah, with this. Son of a bitch. When you're engaged in another activity while traveling, you remain alert to danger. So while we're moving, can I be kind of looking for tracks to pick out a good place for us to take a day and hunt?
Sure. So which direction are you guys moving?
Do we want to try to catch up with the gnomes and at least see if they'd be interested in hosting it out on the Valstenstad? Or the Himmelsvard.
That's what half the group was doing, wasn't it?
Well, he asked what direction we plan on going, so I figured it'd be south, but I wanted to confer with you all. Make sure that was still the way we were leaning.
Kenneth, I don't think anyone ever went to go get the gnomes.
Yeah.
No one did. No, for all 3 days, no one did.
So,
I mean, they were saying we were going to be here for our 4th day. We could do it then if we wanted.
what do we need the gnomes for?
Ooh.
Weren't we planning on seeing if they'd be willing to host this peace meeting upon the Himmelsvard, and as means of having neutral territory, as well as introducing the gnomes to the local nations? I don't know if they plan on
Sounds good to me.
resettling, but might not hurt just to at least get their foot in the door if they do.
Sure. Well, then I say we all go. We turn the boat into one of the bigger ones. 24 by 8 by 6, 5 sets of oars, a steering oar, a deck cabin,
We'd have to leave Eski behind.
a mast with a square sail.
That's not going to do any good down here.
Can hold 15 medium creatures. Can we get Eski on there if it can hold that many?
So, what are the other two doing? I admit I wasn't paying enough attention, but still.
I guess
Yeah.
we all don't need to go.
Because Kenneth was making these metal idols to make this shoreline the meeting place for the last 3 days.
Oh, I gotcha. Very well. Then leave the gnomes out of it, I suppose. To the southeast.
I mean, even if we brought him into it, it'd be a good point for the boat to be. But
True enough.
It's up to you, Lon.
I say we just start heading this way.
Yeah, might as well see if the Zan are up for it, and then
yeah,
come up with the Gnomes.
All right. So to this hex next, like right here.
Yep.
All right. So keeping up with tracker.
Can I do a survival while we travel to see if I see any tracks?
Sure. Nope.
I was just really realizing I was muted. Never mind. I was gonna say if I can give him an advantage, but I don't think I can because he's a ranger and he can do that shit on the move.
Yeah, I think this is just like a day-long thing. That's something I would say the help action probably wouldn't be involved with.
Yeah. Carry on then.
Okay. I assume you're just continuing this direction.
Yeah.
Making that beeline to the Zan.
Yep.
Keep searching. I don't think there's any game on this side of the lake.
To be fair, the Sisgrel might be hunting quite a bit.
That's true.
Didn't we run into like a Sisgrel trap nearby here?
Yeah, right up there.
Up north, yeah. Moment. Okay. Next day. Healing area. $132. You've been down here for almost 19 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this is good news. Rolling a 23.
We're gonna be down here for a year before you know it.
In the Underdark, definitely. In the Fungal Jungle, to you guys.
Hey, but it is nice to know that the fucking dwarves have been down there longer than we've been playing, technically.
Let me see here. Check some reference materials. Okay. You do find some tracks there, Thrum. But it's interesting is that you find what looks like a mad kind of like overlap of humanoid tracks as well as some animal tracks and what you now know the circular tracks of Zan. It looks like some of them were traveling in the vaguely the same direction, but judging by with the natural 20, it kind of looks like they were a shambling mass that were kind of just milling about rather than going in like a directed pack. Reversing their direction, it looks like they were coming from this way.
Coming from or going to?
Well, they were kind of like randomly going out in every direction, but they were coming from this hex over there.
Okay.
And that's the humanoid tracks?
Yeah, and a few animal tracks as well.
All
But
right,
they're relatively fresh.
I'm going to share that with the group and suggest, why don't we go see who our new neighbors might be? Could be another pack of them drow.
Hey, be nice to catch them off guard for once.
Aye. Fergus, you want to scout ahead?
Yeah, I can do that. Don't mind me, guys. I was just lying down to elevate my ankle because it's a little swollen today.
No problem.
So I just have to get off of my bed and. So yeah, I'll go ahead and stealth ahead.
Okay. I'll have you know now, just to save you some time, is that it's going to be the next hex over.
Okay.
Is where something might be if you trace the tracks back to their source.
I'll just say though that like during our travel times, I'll be some yards away, enough to give us a little bit of advance notice, but not too far away, I won't be able to run the fuck away and meet up with everybody else.
Yeah, give me just like a passive stealth roll then.
I am the knight.
Yep, you are in fact the Batman. So, Fergis produces a grappling gun and
Flies
vanishes
away into the sky.
You see, I take my grappling hook, attach it to my hand crossbow, shoot it to the side, and I just vanish.
Don't forget your belt.
All right. So, you guys going to continue along your path, or are you going to deviate to this thing?
I'm fine with deviating. I'm curious.
Just get some adventure up in this hizzy.
All right. Polyagonal reveal. Shoo-doo-pow. That didn't work. Hold on. All right. Unrelated thing. So it doesn't help with this hex grid, but I recently learned that you can use the polygonal reveal tool, and if you hold, I think it was Control, it goes straight lines along the grid. So that's handy. All right. So Fergus, you're creeping up in front of the party, scouting ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear before you see the sound of like feet kind of shuffling through goopy mud and mold. You've kind of become familiar with the sound by this point. And though you are still completely concealed by the mushroom tree line, your natural 20 is still holding for this. You see that there is a rather large clearing that's got a big pool of this very foul-smelling, glowing liquid. And in the center of this pool is a small island, and on the island there is this tall, what looks like a bone-white obelisk. And it's got some sort of writing carved into it. But this goop is flowing out of the writing on the obelisk and dripping down and flowing into this pool. And in the pool around it, you see these shambling forms of just a lot of zombies. Some of them drow, some of them gnome, some of them are Zan, and you even see the withered and fungus-infested forms of dwarves.
First of all, called it.
Yep.
Second of all, I'm going to pull out that spyglass and see if I can get a better look at the writing. Because I have the dark vision spyglass on me.
Yes, you absolutely do. Thankfully, it's like the goo isn't like gushing out, so it doesn't obscure the writing from this distance.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for a fact this is not a language that Fergus can.
Okay.
Flower Mountain really likes their zombie goo, doesn't, or their special goo, don't they?
Yep.
They do.
I am going to rejoin the group and have Nolgrim come with me.
Oh, okay.
There's some writing on this obelisk. There's a lot of zombies around, so we might all want to go with caution.
Oof.
But there's some writing I don't understand, and I know you have an affinity for that.
Absolutely. I am very curious.
So, quietly now.
All right. Nolgrim, roll me a stealth. Keep in mind that your armor might give you disadvantage.
I don't think mine does. Let me check.
I have the page open. Which one do you have?
Checking. Change shirt.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
So what it is you sneak up to the same spot where Fergus was before, and you're pretty quiet, and you see everything I just described. You take the spy scope from Fergus, and you put your hand on a fungus tree. It turns out the roots weren't quite as deep as you thought, and when you accidentally shifted your weight, the entire thing toppled forward in a loud crash.
Nolgrim would look around like, where'd that come from?
Just the entire tree came down.
I'm hiding behind the tree next to him to hope to not be seen.
I will move you guys over to the map now. One moment.
Well, we probably had to deal with them either way.
It's just cutting out the middleman.
Yeah, this way it was at least organic.
The heck?
Still, I don't trust that goo.
You never trust a goo.
You goober.
We need to get some of that goopy gone.
All right.
We're
So
all goofy goobers.
currently, it is just Nolgrim and Fergus up ahead. So someone roll me a 1d4.
No.
So that's how many rounds we have to survive until you guys get here.
Yep.
This is correct. Yes.
Fergus, never roll when they ask for a roll.
Never roll when death is on the line.
There we go. You guys should.
I
be
assume you're
able
going to be shift clicking.
There.
There we go.
Ooh.
Hold on. I just thought of something I shouldn't have right here.
They probably go real slow in the water, so just keep running circles around the pool.
Get them in one spot, I'll shutter them.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me that this bog is cursed.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
me a bit.
It bugs me that they do that, but this
Yeah.
isn't a huge deal
Yeah.
for it.
I will say, I think Michael's probably seen it too, that a lot of the official APs have a PDF of maps that you can usually click to remove text and make it gridless.
Just searching for something. Here you go and start pulling for initiative on figuring this shit out.
You gotta take a quick bio.
Okay.
You forgot to click on your token, I think.
He's gone.
And he's gone.
And he's gone. That is one of the
Poor
better
guy's
self.
probably peeing like every hour.
Probably.
Yeah.
So you go into the asset search on Roll20 and you type in obelisk, and they're like, "Did you mean an MP5 submachine gun? Because this is the picture that we're showing."
Yeah. I've seen that a couple times.
I'm just like, what the hell, guys? I don't know. I'm just gonna do one of my generic then. Then for the zombies. Through all my sheets. There we go. Okay. How about that?
Alright, I'm back. Oh, forgot to click my character one while initiative, so.
And your character's dead now.
Yep.
I did it. Damn it all. Alright. So, let's swap over to that combat music. Alright. So, at initiative count of 20, I will roll this.
It is a mystery. What's in the box?
Alright. Another zombie rises out of the bog.
Layer actions.
Mm-hmm.
Fergus.
So would I still be hidden or not?
You know what? Ripcon, give me another stealth roll. Your natural 20 is good. I'll let you carry it for still 24. Yeah, you're stealth.
Okay. So I'm gonna pop out and shoot this one here.
That'll hit.
For 10 damage. I'll go ahead and give it advantage to Nolgrim,
All right.
because who else am I going to give it to?
Nolgrim.
Nolgrim's going to step forward a bit to draw any attention to him and away from Fergis and take a swing at this one with a Eldritch Blast.
Gotcha.
Focus Fighter.
That'll hit. It's still standing.
6 force damage, yeah.
Fungus Zombie's turn. Let's see here. Dash action. Don't worry, it dashed, so it's not going to be able to attack. These things are shuffling with all due haste. See, was there any other ones? Nope, it's all of them. Okay. That's their turn. Obelisk. Alright. 1, 2,
I think we found the experience farm, guys.
5. There we go. Fergus.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get into melee. Ditching my, well, not ditching, I'm putting it away and drawing my short bow, or short sword. So I'm going to have one weapon out, but I'm going to attack the one to the south of me.
3 rounds till the cavalry arrives, by the way. Yep, that'll hit.
For 13 damage.
Damage. So that will put it at 0. So it needs to pass an 18 Constitution saving throw. It is Constitution, right? Yeah, 18. Which it passes, so it's still standing at 1.
Goddamn zombies. This is the fight with freaking Ivy and the one all over again.
18 was a good amount. Alright, Nolgrim.
Did you give me advantage again or no?
Yeah, I would have.
Okay. I'm going to attack this one with a green flame blade.
Okay.
Awesome spell.
I think I just make a normal attack roll and just deals extra damage on the next one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That'll hit. So it does 8 damage to that one.
And 4 damage to this one.
I believe... Oh, no, wait, that's a higher level one. Yeah, sorry. I always forget that a certain level upgrades. So it needs to pass a DC 6 Constitution saving. So close. So close.
And plus, I'd get them all together, round them up, and make a big spell.
Alright, zombie turn. Another one's getting some melee range. This one get here, but that takes its full turn. That one takes its full turn. That one takes its full turn. There's a lot of these suckers.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you didn't keep making them at round 20.
Listen, I didn't write this bar. All right, so we are looking at 3 attacks on Nolgrim, 1 attack on Fergis. So
I thought the one said he took all his movement.
Oh, right, you're right. So just 3 attacks on Nolgrim.
All right.
So 1, 2, 3. Only the natural 20 hits, I assume.
Yep.
So we're looking at 12 bludgeoning damage.
All right. Okay.
Add insult to injury. That was a infested dwarf zombie that just slugged you in the face.
But of course.
Fun fact, since you're kind of the ancestor guy, undead dwarves are like the biggest anthem of dwarven culture. Because that means they're not with the ancestors.
Going to have to fix that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good for you guys at least. Boop. 1 more. Fergus.
I'm going to attack the one that's still goddamn up.
Mm-hmm. That'll hit.
10.
10. So looking at 15. It dies. There's going to be a lot of them, so I'm just going to start moving them out of the way.
I'm going to then move up to here. And then attack that one with my dagger.
Okay.
This will not have sneak attack on it, but 5 damage.
Yep. To keep this thing flowing smoothly, just to let you guys know, these things have an AC of 8. So
Gotcha.
it'll be pretty easy to tell if you hit or not.
Yeah.
And I will give advantage to Nolgrim again.
I have a question. How did you dagger attack and bonus action?
Oh, yeah, I can't. No, so no advantage to Nolgrim this turn.
Okay. That's fair. I wasn't planning on using it.
I kind of space cased there.
Yep,
No worries.
problem.
All right, Nolgrim.
Nolgrim will cast Armor of Agathis.
Okay.
And that adds, 10? Yeah, 10 temporary hit points. And look back at Fergus and say, I think after this one I'm going to try hit him with a shatter, see if it...
Yep, gather him up. Try not to die.
I'll do my best. And I'll target this one with a hex. Or which one was the...
The one that was weakened is dead now.
The dwarven one that punched him. We can say it's that one if you want.
Okay, then yeah, I'll hit him with a hex.
Full disclosure, I don't make a habit of tracking which attack roll comes from which person with the generic.
Right. No problem.
Okay. Let me throw down a... I don't know. Here we go.
It's the hex vision you have of this guy actually getting turned into a zombie.
I don't know.
Because don't you have flashbacks from like?
Yeah, he has
Orbit?
flashbacks.
Mm.
The vision that you get for this one is a dwarf getting killed by some sort of terrible, many-limbed, armored jungle predator, and he was left in this spot, but he wasn't a zombie at the time.
Got to free his soul.
It's the fungus zombie's turn. Oh my god, I almost forgot you killed one. Yeah. Sorry, small retcon here. Both of you give me a Constitution saving throw at advantage, as it has a death birth of spores.
Oh, that'll be fun. Constitution.
Thank God for advantage, because that's 7.
Yeah, that passed. You both passed. Neither of you take damage. It's all good. As I said, dwarf game. I threw a lot of poison at you because I knew you'd feel better. So that one has to dash to get to you. This one does not, however. Alright, this one is going to dash, but not do anything. Alright.
Does it look like we'll be able to outrun these guys? Do they seem faster or as fast as us?
They have a movement speed of 20 feet.
20 feet.
So we could outpace them if we had to.
By 5 feet.
Actually, don't dwarves have a speed of 25 feet?
Yeah, that's why I say you can outpace them by 5
Oh,
feet.
I thought you said their speed was 25.
No, their speed is 20. Sorry.
I gotcha.
I think. Yep, that's all of them. So we are looking at 3 attacks on Nolgrim again. 1, 2, 3.
Miss.
All right. And then 3 more. Three. All right. One more round until the cavalry arrives. Fergus.
So my turn's going to be a little different.
Mhm.
I'm going to use my action to do the dodge action.
Yep.
And I'm going to try to provoke as I use my bonus action to dash. Or sorry, moved a little too far. I meant to go to only to here. So
Okay.
let me
Nolgrim
backtrack.
will say to keep some distance. I'm about to bring the hammer down.
No, I'm purposely trying to provoke so you can move away without provoking as many attacks.
Oh, that'll be appreciated.
They only
So
get one
like
reaction.
that. So that should provoke from this one,
Those
this one,
three.
this one, and this one. I thought.
Okay, so 4.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And they should all have disadvantage because I took the dodge action.
Yeah, yep. This is a very viable strategy. So
Clever.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All miss.
Yeah, Fergus just ducks, dips, dodges, and dives all around as these zombies haphazardly take swings at him. He distracts them long enough. I believe this one right here will still, and this
Yeah.
one will still have its
Yeah.
attacks. But
But I freed him from 4 possible attacks.
I was sweating a bit there, but I'm like, gotta do it.
all right, Nolgrim.
Move back here. Provoking the attacks.
All right, so that's 2 attacks. This will be at normal. 1. Okay. No, that didn't roll. 1, 2.
There
No,
it goes.
it was the 17s.
Both would hit.
Oof.
1, 2. 8 bludgeoning damage total.
Okay, both of them take 10 points of cold damage.
All right,
So
so
2 points of armor Bagathus left.
neither of them were the ones that you had a hex on because that was one of the ones that Fergus
Provoked.
broke. But other than that,
And then, as my standard action, I'm going to cast Shatter, and I think that's a 10-foot radius.
so it's all of those. What's the saving throw on that one?
Constitution.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 con saves. I'll do it advantage, so I just have to roll 4. But don't worry, it's not at advantage. 1, 2. Oop.
Hmm.
3, 4. Okay, so what's your DC?
14.
So it looks like everyone except for the person that got the natural 20 succeeded. So let's see if I
Succeeded
would-
or failed?
Or failed, sorry. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
If we're
And no
going
one else-
down, it'll probably be this one that got the nat 20.
Yeah, I was going to say it's this one here in the middle. So the one that has your hex on it failed.
All right. So that's 3d8.
Roll high.
I'm hoping.
All 8s. I
3
believe in you.
ones! Oh, 15. Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's Hey, even the one that and that's half damage if they succeeded, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this one is there. This one is there. Is there? Okay, so it looks like 2 of them might go down. Let me do some rolls. So it's 15. So they're looking at DC 20. Pass, fail. So this one dies. This one is at 1 HP. Neither of you are close enough for their death burst to affect you, so no need to roll. It's only adjacent spaces.
Right.
And now here comes the hurt.
Yep.
But yeah, you did a lot of damage to all of them, but
just not enough to kill them.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, that was a 7, a 3, and a 5 for
Yeah,
Shatter.
no, I'm happy with the damage, but wish it was just a bit higher.
All right, so zombie turn. This one will move into Nolgrim. This one will move into Fergis. This one into Nolgrim.
Should have backed away a bit further, if only.
Yeah.
Nolgrim.
This is as far as I could go while still provoking, so.
Yeah.
Nolgrim.
Although that'll take more than his normal movement, won't it?
What?
This one right here moved 25 feet, so I don't think it gets an attack this turn.
Yeah, it does.
I thought
Oh,
it had
yeah,
it
you're
only
right.
moved
Sorry,
before.
25. You're right. Sorry.
And does it look like the cold damage does anything to them?
Have you done cold damage?
Yeah, Armor of Agathis, the 2 that hit me.
Oh, yeah, no, that was full effect.
Okay, so they both took 10 points of damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just have those fancy constitution abilities.
Right.
They're precocious little scamps.
Tough. Actions. Cool. I'll get there. There.
Can you do that fancy maneuver again? Give us an opportunity to get some space. Wait for our companions to arrive.
I can, but I'll only be able to escape a little bit, so. It's a delaying tactic, to be sure.
I think that's what we need right now.
Okay. Oh, right, sorry. I forgot to roll the attacks. Ha ha ha.
Even coming.
Let's see. 1 on Fergus, 3 on Nolgrim. So Fergus. Oh, that. I'm gonna re-roll that. It's not an advantage. Don't worry. 21.
I like the 7.
Yeah, right.
You take 7 bludgeoning damage, Fergus.
Also, it should be a disadvantage because I'm still taking the dodge action.
Okay, 3rd time's the charge. And there we go. It misses.
There
Happy.
we go. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy.
3 against Nolgrim. 1, 2,
Hit.
3.
Yes.
4 bludgeoning damage.
Alright, and takes 10 points of cold damage.
Alright. Gives a Constitution saving throw. Fail.
Rest of my Armor of Agathis. But,
It's a dead one.
okay.
Still not the one you have your hex on.
Nope.
Alright, and with that, the cavalry's arrived because you guys heard the commotion of the fight. So, if you all be so kind as to click and drag your tokens up over here. I will bring Ivy, which should be full health by now. I got her. Yeah, feel free to roll your initiatives and add it to the
I can't find where are our tokens.
Your character sheet.
character sheet. Just click and
Okay.
drag.
You just drag on the character name and then just drag it. It should pop right in.
just do it for him real quick.
All right, I'm an idiot. So I open the character sheet first?
No.
No, just like from the taskbar. Click and drag.
Like, you know how your character sheet kind
There,
of looks
I
like a
got it.
handout?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
there
got
it
it.
is.
You just drag the name.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was trying to drag the picture and that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a thing. So there you go. So yeah, roll up your initiatives on there.
Here's a question, though. When you drag Thrum like that, can he still switch forms? Because I thought that's technically a different token.
Nope, same token.
Okay.
You choose what represents, and I chose the multi-sided token. That's how I
Gotcha.
populate them on the sheet every time.
Gotcha.
Is Michael here? He's muted.
I don't know. He's been
Freya
muted for a
showed
long
up.
time.
Yeah, I click and dragged Freya down.
Is he asleep again?
I'm going to go with yes.
Well, I guess I'll just sideline Freya and Steel Defender until I hear from Michael, and I'll say Miku shows up to help balance it out.
Freya's a little slower on the run.
I'll pull Miku's sheet.
Oh god, he's got a red ring. This is where he betrays us.
He did last time.
Battery 404s.
Fungus shall not kill fungus.
All right. I believe that's everyone. So we are still on the obelisk's turn, but now it is Thrum. You see a whole mess of zombies, Thrum.
Undead dwarves. Terrible.
And other things, but yeah.
The other things don't matter.
He will run to here, go large.
Looking out over the little lake. Yay, but it won't be helping anyone if we join them.
And that was bonus action, and then swing at that one with his
Gotcha.
battle axe. Where's my sheet?
That was hopefully not getting back up.
Yep, that'll obviously hit, so go ahead and roll damage. Let's see, that is 14. And okay, so it's still standing. Like, it was at full health. It never went down the first time.
That was never one that got hit in the shatter?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, you had some fresh ones coming in from the water.
Gotcha.
All right. Fergus.
Is it an action or a bonus action to drink a potion?
It's a bonus action. It's raw. It's an action, but I pull him at Mercer and let you bonus action do it.
Because this is a little weird, so I'm going to drink that potion we could never identify.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I need.
Hey, you didn't let me identify it, so I'm taking the risk.
No, I know. I just need to flip through the book to remember what that did myself. Because you identified.
Because this is a lot of Zambos, and if it can give me any kind of edge, I'll take it.
Yeah, and Thrum would have said as he ran up and hit that one, "Fellas, retreat and let's form a line."
All right. Let's see. I'm just trying to remember what they are. There's 4 identical vials.
One of them was a poisonous potion, which is the one I'm not taking.
Mhm.
One of them was a healing potion. One of them was an infatuation potion, and there's one we couldn't identify.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see.
Rage.
It does nothing to you.
Damn. Well, live and learn.
That was stupid.
Probably just a glass of water.
It was a potion of cure moderate wounds.
Well,
Rip.
which one looks the worst off of all these ones? These 3 here.
This one right here in the middle is definitely the worst. So 1 hit point.
Okay, I'm going to swing at it.
Okay. That'll hit.
Oh. Sneak attack 2. So it's 12 damage total.
So it needs past 17. It does not. It goes crunch. You and Nolgrim give me Constitution saving throws.
Advantage.
At advantage, yes, because it is poison. Pass and pass. Okay, so neither of you take damage.
And these won't be at disadvantage, but I am going to provoke as I step backwards. By these two, at least, to try to give Nolgrim some breathing room.
All right. 1, 2.
Both miss.
Gotcha. Nolgrim.
Everyone's going to take a swing at this one with a green flame blade.
Gotcha. Hit. And it has to do a throw. It succeeds, so it's still standing.
And this one takes 4 points.
4 points. That's the one you have your hex on. Does that do extra damage?
Oh yeah. Does 6 points.
6 points? Okay, so it's still standing.
Alright, then he'll move action, go back to back with Thrum.
2 AOs. 1, 2.
Only one, isn't it? Because he
one-
provoked.
These,
Oh,
two,
you're right.
these two provoked.
And
So
this one was the only one that.
Okay, so then, yeah, just the one. So, the 16.
That's a miss.
Okay.
And let me see, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll go wrap around to help establish a line. And that will be my turn.
Okay. Ivy.
and probably target the closest one.
All right. Of course, that'll hit.
15.
15. Fails. Crumbles. No one's close enough to get death spawned.
I guess that's all she'll do.
Yep.
Not really anywhere to hide right now.
Alright. Fungus zombie. This one will chamber up from Nolgrim. It's double moving for that one. That one actually can attack.
Man, what I would give for a good lightning bolt through these guys.
God, yeah. Or a wall of fire?
Channel positive energy.
No, not a wall. Not a wall of fire.
Never a wall of fire.
Never again.
That is now banned from Cope's arsenal. Same thing with prismatic wall for me.
Oh, touche.
Alright, so let's see. We're looking at 4 attacks on Thrum, 2 attacks on Nolgrim. Or actually, 1 attack on Nolgrim, 1 attack on Fergis. Oh, sorry, one of them's a dash action, I forgot. So 1 attack on Nolgrim, 4 attacks on Thrum. Yes, got it. So, Thrum first. 1, 2, 3, 4.
2 hits.
1, 2. 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then on Nolgrim, that'll miss.
Yep.
Alright. So, it's Miku's turn. He will begin to rage. And he will punch the one directly in front of Fergus, which will hit. The 2 poison damage means nothing, but he does 9 damage.
That's a lot of fisting.
I hit.
Taskill, channel positive energy.
I can do something like that, but not as devastating to them. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and try turning undead. According to the book, every zombie within 30 feet of me must make a wisdom saving throw at DC 14.
Okay. So I will roll this because I don't feel like rolling like 8 separate saving throws. I'm just going to roll 2 to see how many of you affect. I'm abridging it, yes, but they are zombies, being fair. So 1, 2.
Yep.
What the shit?
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
they've got
Once you said I'm going to bridge, I'm like, oh shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll roll them all naturally then. Let me count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It is 8, yeah.
All right.
Now, you could just do it on the same line.
What's the
more to
DC?
go. What is the DC?
14.
Okay.
So, of course, they spike.
Oh my god.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
So,
That's
all
better.
but 3 of them.
That's for the first 3. You're brave as fuck, though.
Yeah.
I will say probably those are the 3 farthest from you. So this one will be, what's a good symbol for this? I don't know. Yellow dot. This one's turned. This one's turned. This one's turned.
Turned creature spends its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can. It can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take free actions. For its actions, it can only use dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving.
But not disengage action?
That's usually at the discrepancy of the GM thinking how intelligent they are. They are zombies, so they won't be taking the disengage action. They are dumb. So, like,
Pro
if
tip,
it was
will break turn undead if you attack them, though.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, if it was something like a vampire, I would argue they'd take the disengage, but zombies, no, definitely. So describe for me, Kenneth, what it looks like when you turn undead.
Boo.
You just said boo.
Hopefully he's not muted.
He's not.
Yeah, no, not muted. Just. Well,
Did the turn and walked away.
She. Well,
Flip all a bird.
usually, when I do a cleric or paladin type character, the holy symbol's got a mount on the shield. So hold that aloft, and I guess it would ring with fire from Mother Flame, and trying to think how to work in the Father in that, but
Giant
then that just kind
shuddering
of
of the
burst
earth.
yeah, maybe.
A loud,
Localized.
maybe like a
Yeah.
loud clang of a hammer on an anvil that rings
Yeah.
out across the cavern.
Oh, that's my
Yeah.
shtick.
Dwarf.
no, kidding.
And you guys notice that the front of the wall of zombies begins to recede as they begin to flee. But now it's this thing. Ew. Hey. So.
Wait a minute. Are more popping up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Run away?
Or destroy the obelisk.
Don't destroy the obelisk till I have a chance to check it out.
6.
I say again, destroy the obelisk.
Okay. That's that. Thrum. For the record, you do know which ones have been turned. Some sort of magical particle effect or something.
Also, they're probably turning their heads right now to run away.
Yeah. So I'm willing to say you don't accidental.
Try and grapple this one.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
What would that be at? Just like a 1d20 plus 5?
It's just your normal melee, so just pick like whatever you use for your great axe.
Just that way I've got
Yeah.
okay. Now, do I get advantage on this?
Why would you get advantage?
Oh, I need to start raging first, so I would start raging first.
Well, this is an attack roll. It's still
Okay.
just a normal attack roll. You have to hit. So
Okay. So do I then get advantage on trying to grapple it?
if you're raging, yes.
Okay.
You do hit, so you're good to try to grapple. You succeed. I believe that does damage as well.
Yes, he takes 9 damage.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, yeah, he's still holding together as you just kind of crush his center of mass, but he's still moving around.
Squirmy little things.
Slap the grabbed marker on him.
Slap the grab.
Slap the grab. Excuse me, I just said that out loud, so now I need to attend a sexual harassment seminar.
That's what
you forgot to leave the business Zoom call earlier.
Make sure
They
you
all
take
just
Cope
heard you
with
say
you.
slap
I'm
the
sure
grab.
make sure you take Cope with you. I don't think he's attended one yet.
Yeah, I just get a phone call from my boss. You've been in the Zoom call for 3 straight months. No, we actually don't really do Zoom calls. That would imply they think we're important enough to hear our voices. Anyway, Fergus.
So I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to start going over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to use my action to keep going, but I'm going to use my bonus to hide.
Gotcha.
Not sure if the turned ones are going to provoke attacks, but...
They do not. They can't use that reaction. Yep, you're stealthed. I'm just going to let you know, because their passive is very low. You're invisible, essentially.
And that's where I'm going to end up, and that's all my turn.
Okay. Nolgrim.
I'm going to delay my turn till after the zombies.
Okay. Ivy.
Probably shoot at the one that's not turned right here.
Okay.
That's the one that's not in Thrum's hand, right?
Yep.
Figured she wouldn't want to shoot that one. Especially with the natural 1.
Yep.
Yeah, that's her turn. Actually, they're a little too close. She'll back up.
Hope you're keeping track of her ammunition, by the way.
I am.
Okay, cool.
I restocked her last time we were at the supplies and deducted everything accordingly.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to get... Well, you're probably not going to want to take an attack opportunity on these, are you?
No, I'm going to let him flee.
Does the water slow him down?
It does, yes.
Okay.
So a whole lot of them are still going. But you got these ones who are coming in. Fresh batch, hot and ready, but that takes a dash, so it can't attack. Deal.
Does Thrum take an attack of opportunity?
He can, but do you want him to attack one of the ones that are fleeing?
Nolgrim will say, get the dwarf one before he gets away. We must free that soul.
There's a couple more ones, but yeah.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd slap that one.
Alright. Give me your attack then. That'll hit.
Oh, it's unarmed because you have a critter in your hand?
Yeah, I dropped max.
Ah, gotcha. Missed that part. Still.
Alright, so that's 9. So it's got to roll under a 14. Oh,
It didn't.
You did kill it.
Okay. I'm unarmed. I don't have my strength isn't adding into that.
Yeah, that's how it should be if it's an offhand attack. All right, this is attack of opportunity. Sorry, blah.
Yeah, I just called it offhand so that I know if I'm holding like a battle axe or a creature, I'm just punching it with.
And I get 8 hit points back. Thank you.
All right, so still 2 attack Thrum. Because one zombie's not going to try to get out of the grapple. So 1, 2, those will miss. Especially since one of them I realized was supposed to be at disadvantage, but that was the second one, and it rolled a 7, so it worked out. All right, let me check something here for Miku.
And didn't Nolgrim delay until after the zombies?
Oh, right, Nolgrim,
Yep.
you're right.
Yep. Trying to think. Do we want to stay and fight them, or do we need to withdraw? I'm fine with staying and fighting, for the record. Yeah,
There are
there's no
bloody
else.
lot of them. What's our plan here? Why are we fighting them?
Hoping that there's an end. And then, since before I take up too much time, I'm just going to attack this one with Green Flame Blade.
Okay.
Hey, there might be an end, but there's far, far too many of them.
Alright, let's get out of here. Is Fergis safe?
Yeah, unless and if you take the search action, you probably don't see Fergus. As far as I know, none of your passives are over 15.
So this one takes 8 points of damage, and this one would take 4.
1. Okay, so see if it rolls under a 9. It does not. All right.
And
Anything else on your turn?
I think I'm going to start to fall back.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Okay. Miku will step up here and punch one of them. That'll hurt. Alright, that's 9 damage. And I forgot, his spore protectors. Tell the story. So yeah, that zombie will have disadvantage on attacks unless they're against Miku. And if it hits anyone else, they have, and he has resistance against it. Okay, cool. Taskill.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'm gonna fall back. I don't feel like spending too many spell points here because there might be drow about. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I guess I could reserve an action to attack if one comes my way, but I think we're pretty convinced to move.
Yeah.
You may want to go defensive and then go defensive and withdraw.
Yeah, you could do the
Well,
do the
doesn't
dodge.
the withdrawal action get you away?
No, it doesn't
Disengage
move
does
Disengage.
but that's a standard action to do so.
He wasn't adjacent to anyone, so he doesn't need to take the disengage action, for the record.
Thrum?
Sorry, Thrum. Sorry, I thought you were still talking about Taskill.
No, I'm telling about Thrum
Oh,
because if they looks like they'll still be closing in because we haven't full on.
Oh, but I
yet.
can shrink back into this away from them.
If that works, then sure enough. But they're going to be closing in next time anyway, so I think next time we need to coordinate a retreat. So
Yeah.
Either way, if you take the disengage action and you move, they still can't keep up with you unless they double dash, and you can just do that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
And they can't hit when they do that. So next round we could double dash.
I'm just saying there's a possibility of getting away from him easily.
yeah.
All Alright, some more zombies popped up out of the bog.
Oh god. Yeah, we definitely need to get out of here.
Thrum.
Thrum is going to switch back to smaller size, realizing that this is hopeless. Let go of that zombie first. Switch back. And then he's going to yell,
"Get out of here! Everyone, Fergis, wherever you are!"
And he's going to move. Gombo, you want to give us guidance on like where you want us to get on the map to indicate we're off the map?
Just get over to where Freya is.
Okay.
The zombies will still be giving chase for a bit, but as you guys have said, you are 5 feet faster. So if you keep double moving, dashing, you will be able to outpace them consistently. Fergis.
I'm going to launch an arrow at the closest one to Miku.
Okay. This one?
The one that's right adjacent to him.
Yep. That'll hit.
For 20.
Oh, God.
Nice.
So it needs to get 25. You know what? It's just going to see if it gets natural 20. Nope, it's okay. It's dead.
And then I'll move bonus action up to here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice when you get double sixes on a sneak attack of 2d6.
Are you not able to go further than that? Was that your...
That was like almost 50 feet of movement, but people were in the way.
Gotcha.
All right.
Like technically, I'd be like up one from here, but I'm at the edge of my visible spectrum.
Yeah.
Nolgrim.
All right. Nolgrim will take a pot shot at this one with a Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Hit, and it'll hurt.
Eldritch Blast.
And it goes down.
Good. And then 25 feet. And he'll say, we could probably take these things with guerrilla tactics. Just move and attack as they...
They keep making more. We have to come back when they don't notice us.
If
we even want to come back to this.
What's a gorilla?
Fungal monkey.
Yeah, and then suddenly... I always imagined that in like medieval settings. When someone says guerrilla tactics and someone says, what's a gorilla? Everyone stops and is just like, I don't know. All right. Ivy.
Probably shoot at the one that's here as she runs off. It will not be sneak attack, but 8 damage. And then with movement and bonus action, she's off the map.
Okay. Fungus zombies. I'm going to ignore most of these ones that are moving because they're not going to be close enough, but there are a couple that I'm going to see if they can't stop Miku. Okay. So 1, 2. Those will both hit. I'm just playing Dungeons and Dragons against myself. 5 damage. He has resistance against those, so it's 2 damage. That was very useless. He then takes the disengage action because he's smart enough to know what's going on, and then he will move after you guys because he's faster than all of you. He's got that full 30 feet movement. Them long legs.
Show off.
And by long legs, I mean normal human average.
Those tall mushrooms.
Yep, and at which point I'm pulling out, so...
Yep.
I think we're pretty much safely away enough to where we can just retreat now.
Yep. Because more zombies will come out on that turn, but you all get away before anything else happens.
As we're running, what the bloody hell? I thought you were just gonna go look at it.
Nolgrim knocked over a tree.
I don't know my own strength at times.
Aye, that'll happen, boy.
You say that'll happen. Ivy says it does.
Clearly.
I mean, I'll admit I'm not up to date on surface trees recently, but it does.
Aye, when you're this strong, it happens.
Also, we should probably get back to Eski and keep moving because, and you turn around and you still see the zombies coming after you.
Shambling horde.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the farther away you get from the glow of that bog, the more terrifying it becomes because they flit in and out of your dark vision.
Did I tell y'all about that app that I downloaded for walking or running? Yeah,
You did,
so
I think, a little bit.
it plays over your, like, if you're listening to music and you go for a walk, it plays over it, and the first two, like, 30-minute periods, there's a storyline of, it's a apocalyptic world, zombies everywhere. You've fallen in with this group of survivors, and they're having you search for things, and so every now and then they've got these tracking devices, and they'll break in over your music and be like, there's a pretty large heat signature or pod behind you. We're going to suggest that you pick it up a little. And so you don't have to, like, sprint, but it's trying to encourage you to go a little bit faster. And after about a minute, they'll say, okay, you shook them. And, like, your music will pick back up. It's highly entertaining. And, I mean, it, like, had me nervous walking the city streets.
How do the zombies give off heat signatures?
Rot and decay, I suppose. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
decay
remember
does
what
produce
it
a
is.
certain amount of heat.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't remember how they claim they can see them. That shows you how long it's been since I've exercised.
Listen, Cope, you need to update me on the lore of your exercise. have you considered creating a wiki?
Oh, God.
But yeah,
You
guys
do
are-
supposedly through, if there are multiple seasons, but you do, like, find lore items in the world about, like, how the disease came about and things. And
Well, no one wore masks. Anyway.
So I guess we just keep pushing on, getting to the point where we've left the zombies in the dust, and then just
Yeah.
continue on our way.
Eventually, they do seem to stop pursuing you,
No,
but not in like the normal way where you stop and turn around and you see them turn around as well. It's like a horror movie thing where you just look back and then there's just not there.
Nolgrim will make a mark of that obelisk location.
Mm-hmm.
I already put it on the map. So seems that's how we're doing it, is making little circles and putting in details we have.
yeah, but RP wise, he's keeping a map too.
Yeah.
Just cartography.
Yeah, I know. I was just adding also that
Which
put
would
on
be
the map
funny
for us.
if Nolgrim dies, to have Loki draw out a beautiful portion of the map that he had uncovered, and then for us to fill it in the rest of the way. It's like Monet and then cartoon.
Right.
Also, I think Michael lost the internet connection
Ah,
That's
because
possible.
he's not in Roll20 or the call.
There is a
that or
hurricane.
he's like, fuck this game, and just tipped over his desk.
I don't
maybe his
remember.
computer fell asleep with him.
I don't know where in Texas he is, but there's a hurricane ravishing Louisiana, Alabama, and Panhandle, Florida right now. So I'm getting storms up here, and I'm 9 hours away, so he might be able to get them.
Mhm.
Come to Minnesota. It's 73, sunny today.
Come to California and want to die.
Yeah.
You can't even breathe there, inside or out.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen those YouTube videos where it's just aerial shots of San Francisco where it's all orange and they just play Blade Runner music?
No, I did not. But
Yeah,
It
and they're worried
fits
that me bringing in
too.
sorry.
ahead.
Wasn't Blade Runner in 2020, or what year was that supposedly taking place in?
I don't know.
Yeah. All I know is it was bad enough that one day I went outside and my car was covered in a layer of ash that looked like as thick as snowfall would be normally if we were actually living in a place that had a little bit of snow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could actually like hit it and it would like dust off like a fucking pile of shit. It was crazy.
Well,
Blade
it's a
Runner
good
took
thing
place
that
in
you're,
2019, so
yeah.
a year late, but close.
It's a good thing that your governor won't let me bring in a fishing lure that might cause cancer.
You know, the thing is most of those forests that are burning are federal land, not state.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why the California government's really miffed about it. Anyway, back to the game. So yeah, you guys are able to put your distance between yourself and the cursed bog.
Well, that was exciting.
Oy.
I do have a plan next time where you go there to maybe distract any attention from zombies so we can get closer to examine that. But honestly, do we want to? Or can we
Next
just
time
do
we
it?
go there, unless there's a door leading to Dammerhall right in the middle of that obelisk, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm fine with leaving it. It's not like it's our concern. I was just curious and seemed like something Nolgrim would be interested in, and then we tipped over a mushroom.
Next time I'll have to try going in invisible.
That might help.
I think to deal with it, we're gonna need a few more hands. Like a couple dozen. And some definite plans to deal with zombies.
You heard him, Miku. You better start growing some more arms. We're gonna need 12 by Wednesday.
I think that was racist.
He releases spores so you can hear him, and he says, "I do not have the ability to grow additional ones." He takes you very literally.
Yes, I know. Which would probably cause more hilarity to ensue. Because
Mm.
it's like that. It's like that punch-drunk kind of comedy that people get when after they've had a fight.
Mhm.
Miku, have your people ever heard of this cursed bog? Encountered it a few times, I assume.
It would be a newer development if it was. There were some stories about something this far out from Zan when I left, but I have been traveling with you for many cycles now. If you guys remember, it has been like 2-3 months,
Yeah,
or not 2-3 months. You've been down here for 3 months total.
2 or 3 weeks with him.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. You're currently on month 4 of your expedition since entering the Underdark.
almost a half a year under. Without seeing any sun. How you feeling, Fergus?
I hate you all, but what else is new? Except Miku, he's nice. And Ivy. And to a
Hey.
lesser extent, Nolgrim.
I'll take it.
Can't find a good one under 100.
Can't find a good one over 100 either. Moving on.
Not where you're looking.
Ivy says, "So what I'm taking is there's a sweet spot right at 100 then."
Yes, if you're actually exactly 100 as a dwarf, you are the best.
What was that joke that people used to tell on World of Warcraft about the level 58 Death Knight or whatever it was?
I can't remember. Sounds
Yeah,
vaguely familiar, but
It was just a joke because that's when you get out of the Death Knight starting area, so you're disproportionately powerful for how much of an asshole you are. So people joke, wow, those guys are the most toxic players, and someone made an entire joke where he finally got enough XP to level up to level 59, and he instantly just became a saint. Until someone pissed him off so bad, the game wound back his level 1 level. Anyway, what direction are you guys heading if you're still continuing on your way to Zan?
I would say down to this one and then to this one.
Yep, sounds
Looks
good.
good to me.
The track?
Might as well track our, start basically unlocking more grids for Nolgrim to draw down as we travel.
I realized Yeah, I forgot to do that. Hold on.
Also, there's that video game logic into me where I must uncover every
Yeah.
tile.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, just think, we never would have found this cursed bog had we not stepped this way.
Got a natural 20 on that perception.
That's not good.
Yeah, you were the one checking for tracks.
Oh, yeah, that perception. I thought you said you just gotta.
Yeah, no, I said, yeah, you got that on that survival checking for tracks. You got
That
a
was
natural
good.
20.
I liked it. It opened up a new adventure, and we still need to get some boar, boys.
Okay. So, and then you're gonna get to this hex, correct?
Basically,
Alright.
now making a beeline right to Zan.
Yep.
This last couple days towards Zan, I would be speaking to Miku about going over everything we talked with the White Widow and all them about.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't in there, and I'm sure we relayed the information to him, but I'd probably be going with it over him again,
Yeah.
making sure he understood everything that we heard and what our plan is about how to try to get a neutral meeting place to discuss maybe talks of peace and the like. And if he can get us into Zan to speak with the alchemist, since he seems to be the one in charge, we would appreciate it.
Yeah, he says that he'll definitely be able to get you into Zan, but it's up to you to convince the alchemist at that point. He's undecided on the topic of the Skizral, but he leaves it up to you.
He never did ask, what is Miku's opinion on the Skizral? Like, he says he's undecided, but what is his personal opinion, really?
There has been an unpleasant history between the Zan and the Skizral for many cycles of the Zan people's life cycles. There has been death on both sides, competition over regions of the jungle.
Has it been like a hot war or just skirmishes as parties cross paths?
Skirmishes, mainly with hunting parties. We are uncertain of the depth of the Skizral's size. Thousands of Zan live within Zan. We do not know how many there are Skizral in their temple.
A lot.
There
I
is...
could not even begin to quantify.
There are some other smaller differences based upon what we know, but the alchemist can explain that better. Alright. So... Whoop. Didn't mean to open up the token editor. On day 138, you reach the city of Zan.
And it is on fire.
No.
And you're immediately tripping balls. Wait, can you burn a mushroom?
Yeah.
That would be the thing. If it turned out Zan were actually hallucinogenic mushroom people,
Yeah.
that would become a weird commodity of people hunting Zan.
I mean, you haven't tried eating a Zan yet. You don't know.
Now I started looking at Miku a little like,
Just like Eski does.
You just walk over. Can I try something real quick? He goes, sure. You just grab his hand and bite off a finger. He's like, why? Anyway, you take your cart back down through the cave tunnel, and you reach the high gates. Let me scroll back through the doc to make sure I get the proper description here. PDF scrolling. Yeah. That's the weird part, is that when you write it yourself, you've got enough of it in your head. You don't have to reference your notes as much as if you're going off an actual PDF that someone else wrote.
Mhm.
It's a weird phenomenon, at least for me.
yeah, there's times where I'm like, I'm running Rune Lords, and there's some stuff I can change around, but there's some stuff that it is very canonical in lore of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to be really careful not to change too much.
I have to do that at work. I get basically 6-page papers that are written perfectly describing what I want to, the project that I want to fund, but I have to completely rewrite them and hand them to the people I'm presenting to so that when they ask me questions, I'll know it. Because otherwise, if I just read it, it isn't sticking in there like if you write it.
Yeah, I've copied a lot of stuff over into that game for next week.
Yeah. All right. So you guys come to describe what it is again. It's 2 large, about 45 feet tall, petrified fungal wood doors with some stone walls, seemingly carved / placed out of the tunnel wall, with 2 crude towers on either side. There's 3 Zan with spears out in front of the door, but you see multiple more moving up on top of the gate walls. So it's a pretty defensible position. Miku motions for you guys to hang back for a moment. And he walks up to one of the guards, and they both release their conversing spores, and they are maybe standing there for 5 seconds before Miku turns around, comes back, hits you guys with the telepathic spores, and says, "Very well, they will be letting you in as guests, provided that you go and speak directly with the alchemist first."
I mean, that seems fair to me.
Alright. So you guys pull up your wagon, and the gates to Zan begin to swing open. And you guys see the city of Zan in a large cavern beyond. And when I say city, I truly mean a city. There are several dozen tall buildings that have got these rope bridges with fungal wood planks going between them. The buildings are made out of stone, but they are, yes, shaped like mushrooms. But they are decidedly carved and constructed out of stone. And you guys see so many Zan moving about between these different buildings and structures, carrying clay pots or doing other such chores. The ground, there is no roads, it's low mushrooms, but there are these swirling clouds of multicolored spores that just seem to drift through the air. And up near the ceiling of the cavern, it almost looks like a cloud cover because there's so many spores gathered up there.
It'd be best if we left Esky out at the gate.
Why so?
Don't they eat animals or use them?
Don't you? That's
Also,
what Ivy says.
Yes, but we also don't want them to eat our caravan. Also, we have 2
but-
scorpions that last time they tried to step on any of their
What
space.
are you guys doing with the scorpions? You can't put them back in the box. Are you just carrying them around with you?
I think last time Thrum said he was carrying, like navigating them ahead of the cart.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, kind of trained them and stuff.
Hey, but how many of these spore clouds have we dodged out in the jungle? And we don't know how it'll affect her or us.
Or the scorpions.
I keep
Otherwise
forgetting
known as
about
Plan
those
B.
gliders.
I mean, we can narratively say that the one person that's not with us in the game right now is staying outside the gate with the cart.
Yep. Fair.
That works.
And it seems like the Zan are pretty up and up, and if we tell them that we're going to leave our cart outside and tether everything off, if they can make sure not anything comes to harm of it or anything, I'm sure they'll understand.
Oh yeah, they're reasonable folks. Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna set up the map while I'm describing to you. All right. 6 Zan kind of gather around you as like a escort / patrol to take you through the city. They are taking you towards one of the two largest structures. Miku is currently still accompanying you, but he informs you via his spores that when you reach the structure, which he refers to as the Throne of the Alchemist, he is going to have to part ways with you, at least temporarily.
Are the Zan limited to who can go in the essentially throne room?
He. On. You know what? Give me a persuasion. This will be pretty easy, but.
Natural 1. Nope. 23.
He says, "No, I will be speaking with the alchemist later, but I'm going to bring what I have learned to the feet of the sages in the College of Dreams." And he gestures towards the second largest structure on the opposite end of the city.
Well, we'll have to learn more about your people in addition to the alchemist, since we've been pretty limited on understanding your people, but at the moment we have some business to attend to, as I motion back to the alchemist building.
Of course. Here we go. Oh, shoot, wrong layer. I'm just setting this up. I should have done this before game, but I got lazy.
I mean, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was like the only thing. Everything else was pretty much already made. Oh, thing. There we go. And then more. And red. Okay. I do apologize for the wait. These the first just never seem to work. Oh, I'm on the map layer, that's why. Sorry, amateur hour over here. Come on. There we go. Right. Now I should be able to bring you guys over here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys should be able to see that now.
Yep.
So yeah,
Pretty.
on your way to the Throne of the Alchemist, you do see over here, because the glowing spores and the many mushrooms make this place actually fairly well lit. You do see another gate with more guards standing out in front of it over there. All right. As you guys are escorted into the Throne of the Alchemist, you're going up some internal flights of stairs, and you're greeted by the sound of bubbling liquids, the clinking of glasses, and the other sounds that are most definitely the sound of alchemy being done. Though you are not allowed to linger as you're being escorted, there are multiple side chambers you pass where there's Zan pouring over alchemist tables, various cauldrons. Some of them seem to be consulting large tomes of a more circular or rounded shape made out of compressed and starched fungus caps, until you are brought to a large central room near the peak of the mushroom-shaped structure. It forms a large dome-like room. Yes, essentially, Thrum. Yes, you're right. In this room has all manner of alchemical equipment lining the walls, and there are multiple, like a tiered balcony that you see normal Zan working about at lab stations. But in the center is a massive lectern where about I would say 14 to 15 foot tall Zan. He appears to be made of like multiple mushrooms wound together, but he is definitively a Zan. As he stands over the lectern, seeming to be taking notes on a extremely large parchment that is running down the front of it and across the floor. All the ink they're taking, by the way, is made out of spores, so it has a light blue glow on the paper.
Nice.
And this entire interior space is absolutely filled with the smell of chemicals and vapors. Everyone give me a Constitution saving throw at advantage. Okay.
Two.
So yeah, Thrum and Taskill, you just feel a little woozy in this room. Nothing bad, no actual like game effects.
Oh, I brewing some good stuff in here.
Yeah, Ivy's also fine. Before you enter this chamber, Miku had peeled off from you. And the guards wrap their spears on the ground, a clank on the stone as you enter. The drawbacks that you may stand before the alchemist. He looks up with his strange fungal eyes, and he releases a large cloud of those same conversing spores that Miku always uses. Let me consult the notes here for a second.
I've had 2 drinks. Y'all just want to let Thrum do the talking?
I mean, we usually have Nolgrim do the talking, and his charisma is like a 7.
You're not far off.
His voice is deep in your heads, but very calm. He says, "It is not usual to have outsiders in Zan."
Is that all you were going to say? I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah. There was just a pause.
So we have gathered, and we thank you for taking the time to meet with us. I'm sure that you've heard that we've been traveling with one of your own recently, and have some news to bring to you, as well as to meet you, since you're one of the more prominent people in this jungle.
Yes, Miku has spoken well of you. This is why you stand here now. Outsiders are not normally let within Zan. Few have seen our city. I find you curious. What brings your kind so deep into the jungle?
Unfortunately, we seek to eventually go deeper still than the jungle, but as it remains, there is a drow fortress in our way that we need to make our way past. We've been trying to find allies in this place, as well you probably heard from Miku, or at least from Proxy.
If you have come to Zan seeking an army to fight the drow, then your effort has been in vain.
We do not wish to procure help to fight the drow, rather than we seek allies for other means of resolving issues that when we eventually take the fort. We understand, we spoke with, I'm sure you've been aware of the White Widow, we spoke with her as well as, and then I kind of go into like explaining the what happened on the island, the encounters with the hag, with the weird fungal area that like this glowing spog that she summoned those elementals from, the gnomes themselves being there, how we found the one Siskrel Larathak, who we spoke to his leader, the White Widow, about talks of helping us, and then they agreed to help us with certain issues, so long as we could somehow manage to broker some peace between them and the Zan. I believe anyone can fill me in on the details if I'm missing things, because I was kind of off a little bit for the last couple of them.
If I recall correctly, it was they were willing to help, but doing so would take them into Zan territory, and they
and they don't wish to like have a full-on confrontation. So we've come to help promote talks of peace, to the point where I explained the neutral ground we've set up with Taskill's help. Well, primarily with Taskill doing it, but you know. And if there would be any way to convince any kind of mediation between the two, is what the primary reason we've come back to Zan.
You would wish us to converse with the enemy.
I would wish to have you converse with somebody who may not always be an enemy, that might eventually prove to just be a neighbor.
Or at
Roll
the
me
very, or
go
at
ahead,
the
go
very or at the very least, make a temporary truce with the enemy so that another rival faction that is neither of your friends could be laid low from the area.
Roll me a persuasion.
Do I get advantage because Nolgrim was helping me?
No. Otherwise, every social encounter in this entire campaign
No,
will
that's
be
fine.
exceptionally easy.
No, that's fine. I mean, I have a decent persuasion skill.
Yeah.
So that's 23.
He taps one large finger on his lectern, examining all of you for a moment. And he says, Zan takes nothing on faith. Here, in my throne, as well as in the College of Dreams, we examined the core components of things, understand the facts, the figures. All of our information and all of our experiences with the Skizral have been one of violence and distrust. What new information do you bring that would alter this hypothesis?
Nolgrim would chime in a bit and say, you have us that is passing through and giving the both of you a mutual opportunity to benefit from standing down for the time being.
And then Fergus would also add that sometimes it takes an outside perspective who's willing to open up talks to help the matter move along. Sometimes it could literally just be a stalemate between two rival factions that just needs some intermediary. And this is an out of thing because I'm still trying to remember everything that happened with the Skizral. They were chased from the surface and they came down here.
Yeah.
And they're like essentially a very religious creature, right?
Very, very religious. They were led by the White Widow, who it does not take a skill roll to figure out she was a high priestess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the opposite of these people.
Yeah, and basically kind of that's what I was going to say, because kind of mentioning that while both of the Skizrael and Zan are very polar opposites of the spectrum of people down here, that doesn't mean that they have to be at war, and that there's an opportunity here to like at least establish territories, plans for kind of mutual but distant respect at the very least, cooperation at the very best, but at the very least prevent more deaths on both sides from just unwillingness to cooperate.
And if I can add in,
As only opposites attract. It's only with enemies that we can discuss peace.
Yeah, it's a decent line.
He taps on his lectern again. From some of the high windows in the Stone area, spores drift in from outside as he turns his fungoid head body a little bit to regard it, almost like hearing a far-off sound. Returns back to you. Says, your hypothesis is probable, but there is still the examination of facts. Fact, the Skizral do not propose a threat to you. You are not Zan. Fact, a peace between the Skizral and the Zan would benefit you. You have done nothing yet to benefit Zan.
Well, if there's any possibility that we could help with something that could promote these talks of peace, I'd be open to it. And like, I don't really want to go into the way I can't really word it properly for how I'm trying to go with it. But part of the like mentioning stuff would also be that, you know, it'd be a good way to not encroach on each other's hunting grounds as well. That I forgot to add that earlier. This wouldn't be this coming out right now.
Taps on a pony and again, thinking. He says, I shall contemplate what you have said here today before my own mental theories. In the meantime, you are guests within the city of Zan. You may rest here behind our walls, regain your strength from the jungle. Miku vouches for you, and there is no deception amongst Zan. I will send for you to discuss this further in time.
Before we were ushered out, Fergus would speak up about whether or not there might be someone in Zan to help me obtaining I would kind of motion to his, like, because I imagine this is like semi-laboratory, like throne room.
It's very much a combo. He doesn't even have a throne. He has a lectern in the center where he talks to people.
But I like motion to I wish to get supplies to make my own alchemy supplies, as I have been coming across many different interesting things in the jungle, and I lack the skills to adapt what I find into practical use.
This is reasonable. Here, I'm going to give you a handout in a second, because I don't want to have to role play it all out, but there is trading options here.
And Nolgrim would ask if there's somebody that's gem cutter or gem craftsman that he could potentially speak with, possibly train under.
We got
Some tells me that they're not really interested in gems.
They actually do have a gem cutter. In here in the Throne of the Alchemist. Okay, here we go. Here's the handout. You guys should be able to see that now.
Yep.
Now I just want to know what a forget-me-tea is.
I assume these gold piece values are relative for like trading materials.
If you look up at the top, I went into that in the bold text at the top.
That's
of the
funny.
handout.
It came up down at the bottom. Okay.
Do we have any heavy items that we could benefit for trading at this point?
We have a lot of Oh no, I think you used all the armor, didn't you?
Maybe.
Well, also, iron is not the rarest of metals.
Yeah.
Gold, silver, and copper actually have more uses in alchemy.
Well, we can go out hunting and come back and trade.
Well, we also have 12
meat.
mithril chain shirts.
And a box of platinum, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Remember, I took half of that and I gave the other half to Ivy.
So negotiate with her on that.
Yep.
Given that it's 20 pounds of metal, I probably would have only used 3 of the regular chain shirts.
So we could probably unload the other
5.
5.
And I'm wearing one of the mithril chain shirts, I think.
I would question about the Forget Me Tea. I actually legit would be curious about that.
Roll me a persuasion just to see like how forthcoming they are. They're not like trying to hide anything, but it's like if they give you the time.
25.
Oh yeah. Essentially, it's a very calming, relaxing tea that when someone drinks it, they will feel very much settled down and they'll be pliable, aka advantage on charisma and persuasion checks. They will also forget the next 24 hours.
Okay.
Jesus. Roofie tea.
Roofie tea.
Not quite roofie, because it's like if you threaten them too much, they might snap out of it or burn through it. But if you're calm and they're calm, everyone's a little bit more calm. It's super chamomile, basically. Because, I mean, I drink chamomile tea, it's relaxing, and then I go to bed, and then I forget the next 6 hours.
Because I'm going to get one of those. Because I have actually a decent amount of gold.
We do have a orange fire mushroom on the wagon.
Yeah, that would be what the rare fungus.
Would that clay mushroom that I found, the one that you can be mixed, that would count as
basically
too?
any of those special mushrooms that you find in the field count. And you guys thought there wasn't going to be any shops ever.
So with all my money, I buy one of those Forget Me Teas, 3 potions of healing, and 1 potion of lesser restoration.
Okay, so
And I am down to 4 gold.
And 1 bulk of meat equals 10 gold pieces. So if we hang around for a day or 2 or 3 and do some hunting, we could get some boar meat.
okay, so just to make sure, it's 1 Forget Me Tea, right?
1 Forget Me Tea.
What's else?
I took 3 of the healing potions.
Okay, 3 healing potions. So
And 1 of the lesser restoration.
and 1 of the lesser restoration. Gotcha. I put the special for antitoxin because Zan are naturally immune to poison, so bringing an antitoxin is simple, but also not something they'd have on hand.
What is a potion of growth?
It makes you grow 1 size category larger.
So you can turn huge if you drink it when you're big.
You could turn huge if you drink it when you're big.
That would be awesome and
Giant battle against a
really
giant.
not useful.
It does add, I think, let me pull up large growth.
With the way reach works here, and it doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity when they come into your space, size really doesn't matter.
It does add extra damage, I think.
It does add extra damage, yeah. Let's see. You have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Your weapon damage increases by 1d4. Which would stack with what you already have.
It'd just be fun to be that big. But Nasserim has already reached those heights, so I'm okay with it.
Kaiju fight, Cope, come on!
I have a feeling we're going to have to deal with that giant one way or another eventually.
No, I'm not going to twist your arm into anything. And you guys can come back to this later. You don't have to.
By the way, add one of those potions back, because I forgot I need to buy alchemist supplies.
Oh, right.
So there will be 2 potions of healing left, but only 1 alchemy supply left.
updated doc. Also, just so you know the difference between potions and balms. Balms you actually have to like rub on yourself because it's like a cream. So it takes 10 minutes to apply, but it lasts longer than an hour, unlike potions.
So when you think about it, you touch yourself.
Yes.
When I think about you, I touch myself.
Well, we've got between 1,020 of gold and meat and 2,500 and something in money and meat. So
What?
at some point, we should decide if we want Richard to be our. Well, that's a good persuasion because
Mine's a +7.
exchange, yeah. So if on the cart it lists 102 boar meat in pounds.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's reduced right now. We're down to 21.2 boar meat. When we start the game, what's on the cart is what was left over from last game, and then I've got an Excel spreadsheet that I'm tracking our days, and it's been 9 days, and we're down pretty low.
Yeah, that's still a decent amount, but yeah, we might have
Still,
to go.
what, like 400 gold? But if we kill one boar, we're averaging like, I don't remember, 250, 400 pounds from each
I mean,
boar.
again, he did say the boars are exceedingly rare down here, so...
Well, if we're just going to be hanging around, we can hang around in Zan or go hunt a boar. It's easy money.
Also, if you wish to explore the city of Xan, you just have to ask.
Yeah. I was going to go shopping, then I was going to explore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about their College of Dreams and seeing if I can, like, even if I can't go in there, just kind of curious about what it's about and see if I can find Miku eventually and talk to him or anyone who's permissible to talk with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Fergus is going to check out the College of Dreams. What's everyone else doing?
I'm going to seek out a gem cutter.
Okay.
I'm going to follow Nolgrim if you don't mind.
Well, with the wooziness, I'm probably going to go back to the gate. Yeah, I knew this fog was no good. So,
Hey, you just got to ride the high.
He's going native.
Chase the white dragon.
Pull your belt strap tighter and keep on walking.
hey, not going to be chasing the portobello python.
That's a good one.
Just the rest of the campaign, Thrum's going to be microdosing. I watched someone else's campaign where that was a joke. Is that it was someone he would take like 3 microdoses in rapid succession. It's like if you're taking multiple at once, then it's not microdose.
I don't know anything about shrooming, so.
Microdosing isn't just shrooms; it's any sort of a lot of drugs like it. Basically, the idea is that you take just a little bit so that you feel a tiny bit of something, but it doesn't completely knock you on your ass.
Oh yeah, we have that.
People try to make the argument it's healthier, but you're still taking like hallucinogenics and shit. So.
In the alcohol world, we call it maintaining.
Yeah, or in Britain they call it social drinking. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nolgrim, you're able to find in one of the other sections of the Throne of the Alchemist, definitely wandering around this place, though it kind of has some defensive qualities like a castle. It is very much a place of alchemical experimentation and crafts. Mm-hmm. Definitely a scientific bent to it. Okay. You do manage to find a Zan that does gem cutting. A rather funny fellow. Like his head is slightly like off to one side. Like there's an L-shaped bend in his neck, but it doesn't seem to bother him any. Sometimes mushrooms just grow funny, you guess.
Right. And if he's, depending on how he's slouching down over a desk or a workstation, it might benefit him nicely, actually.
Oh yeah. As you watch, he is working with like a ruby, and he's got like this basin of what looks like this sizzling green acid that he has tongs, and he's dipping parts of the ruby into the acid and then using another tool to wipe it away. So it looks like he's using acid-based stone cutting rather than tool-based.
Mm. All right. Nolgrim will kind of approach in a very scholarly manner and wait for him to be pausing from something that he may be concentrating on, and before seeking his attention and saying, "Oh, go ahead."
You're just standing there silently.
Not necessarily silently, like I don't sneak in or anything like that, but
yeah, you're like waiting to be addressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, if you don't say anything, that just never happens.
Okay.
Very different social norm.
Okay. After probably about a minute or two, Nolgrim will say, "Excuse me, may I borrow a moment of your time to ask a few questions? I don't want to interrupt if you are focused on something that can't be bothered."
He releases his spores. He still continues the same motion of his work, but he then converses with you.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "You may speak, outsider."
I have actually relatively recently taken on the craft of gem cutting, and it is slow progress based on what I could do on my own. I was hoping that you would be willing to give a aspiring gem worker pointers, tips, advice, maybe a bit of training.
Roll me a persuasion. This will be a lower one. It's not going to be too.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice. Still working away. He says, "And for what purpose do you learn this craft?" As you're watching, he is like starting to flatten out the gemstone with the acid.
Like, as in, like, mold it almost like it's clay of some kind?
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
That would leave him in awe for a brief moment, and before saying, "Well, first off, curiosity is like you are just now showing. I've never seen a gemstone contort like that or meld like that, and that is a fascinating feature. But it is to, I suppose, carry on the tradition of my people, a sort of legacy of a dwarven trade that I think could certainly benefit from." Sorry, I'm trying to think of the angle I'm going with. But basically to continue to expand my knowledge and understanding of the physical sciences and trades. I have a hungry intellect that does not like to be left hungry for long.
Then I can teach you a few things. If you had been only wishing to learn how to shape gems for perceived value or for decoration, such things have no place within Zan. This gem here, as he is like flattening it out almost like a wafer now, shall become a new filter for an chemical umbilical. Putting certain compounds through the filter will alter their chemical property.
That is fascinating. This is a aspect of gemcraft that I could really sink my teeth into.
I do not know what you mean by that. I would not recommend ingesting, but I can show you. And so yeah, too, he'll start showing you some stuff. It's definitely a completely different form and application of gemcraft that you're not used to. It's still the equivalent of learning gem cutting tools. He still uses some traditional chisels and stuff, but
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I guess Thrum was watching because he followed Nolgrim. How you feeling, Thrum?
Yeah, I was just about to type in there, Thrum, is he, I guess, would have gotten the spores too?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. As he realizes that this guy isn't going to help him shape a stone, would quietly turn and walk away from the nerds.
You just remind me of that fucking guy from Revenge of the Nerds. Just comes up, nerds.
Well, my idea had been after Nolgrim said that I was going to be like, I would like to hire you to shape the stone, but after he said that that's not what they do, he's going to walk away.
Shape what stone to remind me?
The stones that can go into the Nolgrim's weapon and Thrum's weapon.
Yeah, okay. I mean, ostensibly that's for practical use, but anywho.
Well, he'll wait a day. He'll let them have their moment. They definitely nerd meddled.
Although, do we know how expensive the gem needs to be?
I believe I wrote it down here. Let me look here. Because I have no problem with just telling you this.
Oh, I didn't know if it was off expense. I just thought the ones we got were magical.
It has to be one. It has to be a gemstone worth at least 10 gold pieces, which you guys have that in spades.
Yeah. So I think, if possible, if I could retcon a bit, insofar as saying, well, I guess, trying to see if there's any way where I could have had some of the gemstones on me, knowing that there would probably be a gem cutter here, or at least hoping there would be, so that I could have some shaped for my weapon.
He will. He'll teach you pro bono, but he will reshape a gem for barter.
Yeah.
Equivalent of 50 gold pieces worth, like using the previous handout.
Okay. Yeah, might as well.
That'll still take a couple days because he's going to do the measurements of the slot to do it right.
Mm. Well, Nolgrim will do what he can to learn from the process. So 5 platinum will be the equivalent of 50 gold?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So I'll reduce that for now. Wait, no, that's silver. I got 4 platinum, 6 gold. Shit. I'll I'll ask the party if I could borrow a few gold pieces of or some of the rubies from the chest. I guess.
Thrum is leaving. Well,
So
rubies aren't the same thing as currency here.
Okay.
I just imagine you patting down your pockets and you just like suddenly chase after Thrum. You're like, wait. I need a handout.
What is he charging you to learn how to melt valuable gems?
No. Well, not charging me for that, but charging me for getting a gem for my weapon here.
Oh, good on you, boy. You got him to agree to do it?
Not for free, but it'll cost. And he would. He says he's willing to barter for it. So see what sort of items will be of value to him.
Let's head back to the wagon and see what we've got.
No, we'll say. Let me first ask to see what sort of things they find valuable. If mithril as a material is valuable to them.
Aye.
Then you would go back and ask.
All he says is the study is still ongoing. And he says that in a way like he believes you should completely understand what that means.
So then he would go on and ask, in that regard, would mithril, something already crafted from mithril, qualify as a fair barter? He would kind of describe the mithril chain shirts.
Yeah. To save all the roleplay, basically what it is that they're still studying the practical applications of mithril. They believe that they have enough samples currently,
Ah.
so until they discover one, it would be considered impractical to get one.
Okay.
So no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's head back to the wagon and see what we've got. I know we've still got those rubies and the other gems. We're down to about 70% of the gems. We've got some fire mushroom, or a fire mushroom. We've got 16 gold pieces in there. Do you have any gold?
About 6 gold and 4 platinum.
What did he ask for? What value?
Is it safe to say about 50 gold pieces worth?
Yeah, it's some tabletop
Yeah.
in there.
And a
like,
platinum's 10 gold pieces?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So 4 gold pieces, you'd be set.
Pretty close, but I need 1 more platinum or a few more gold.
We've got 16 gold pieces. Thrum would head back to the cart as if he owns it all and hand you the gold pieces to 16.
As you guys are leaving the Throne of the Alchemist, however, you walk past a room where maybe you talking, you see out of the corner of your eye, but it's got like 3 cages made out of wood, and in these cages that are surrounded by Zan, currently looking into them, you see 3 of those like undead fungus zombies.
Like similar to what we saw in the bog?
Pretty much exactly the same. There's
Okay.
even a dwarf skeleton one.
Okay.
Hey, you boys thinking about going down in there and tackling them? We could help you.
They're too engrossed in what their work when you shout from the doorway.
All right, fine. You know where we'll be if you need us.
Literally, no one's looking at you.
Yeah. We'll come back to them.
Okay. So I assume you and Cope could just work out the currency stuff. So it was Richard, Fergus, and I guess Ivy will be accompanying him to the College of Dreams, since I know we're sneaked up on end of session here. So.
I mean, we could save that for next thing.
Oh no, it's not a big deal. I'm just wanting to give the full spectrum here. The College of Dreams, outside of a few lower sections, is one large domed chamber. It is just absolutely teeming with Zan moving around. Most of them are carrying large scrolls or folded parchments, or are at their own little lecterns noting stuff down, because scattered around the chamber are 8 heightened thrones, in which these slightly larger than normal, but not near as large as the alchemist Zan are, seated upon these thrones. But their limbs are distended and elongated, almost like they've been there for so long they've grown into the thrones. And there's just a constant stream of these sparkling telepathic spores that are coming out of them, that drift around the chamber and mix up near the ceiling, forming like a kaleidoscopic vortex of colored spores. As you enter, you can't help but be collided with this, and it's just basically like the telepathic communication of dozens upon dozens of Zan. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt my head.
Also roll one for Ivy, because she's there with you.
Where's Flash Wings? Neither of us got very good.
Yeah. It's very, very overwhelming. It's not just a lot of people talking over each other like in a crowded room. That you could more easily handle. This is more than just like what Miku or the Alchemist did with you. And though Miku mentioned the whole merging the spores together for a kind of apotheosis thing, you only really understand what he means by this now, is that what is flowing in the air here is thoughts, ideas, and the feelings of the Zan people, these ancient thinkers that are in these thrones mixing together. And it's in your head just a mad smattering of images and thoughts and philosophical tangents and ideas and memories that you are not able to process super well. There's no malicious intent by it. You're not being poisoned. It's just
they're throwing a lot out there, and I'm not geared to handle any of it.
Yeah. Ivy is already trying to stagger through to the door because she does not like it one bit.
Yeah.
If you tried to stay here longer, you might be able to sort through it. But this is definitely some kind of hall of thinkers.
Yeah, I would stay closer to the door in case I had to leave right away. Mm-hmm. But Fergus would be fascinated by this and would try to remain a little longer to try to understand a little bit of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he'd be close to the door, so if he had to make a mad dash before he puked or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we can go in more into that next session, I think. But for now, the general gist of what probably all of you have collected via conversing with some of the Zan, as well as spending time here, just to save this, because you do eventually see Miku again. He does check in on you guys. Is that basically the city of Zan, like you said, is very much the opposite of the Skizral. The Skizral are very religious. The Zan are almost what we in the modern day would call scientific, with the alchemist being kind of like the executive branch of their government, and those Zan on the thrones are called the sages. It's mentioned in the handout I gave you there, who are kind of like the philosopher kings, if you will, of the Zan people. Not so much spiritual as much as thought about how one should live their life and the betterment of the community. They use the spores to fully communicate the ideas to completely understand each other. So it's a very much a different way of ruling than the Zan or even the dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
Scientologists.
Definitely not Scientologists. Scientologists are something so totally different.
They just have the name science in their name to try to fool people.
Yeah, it's not quite a technocracy, but it's ish, if that makes sense. Technocracy is inventing technology, is who leads society, but that's not what
logic and science prevail.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people of Spock.
Kind of, except the Vulcans in Star Trek were saddled by an inherently flawed view of logic, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
That there is no such thing as a universal godly logic where everything's... Because logic is filtered through your own cultural perspective. This is end of session. I'm just talking... I'm
I don't even know what the people are called.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Yeah, that's fine.